Jansen gets it back now, winds it through center for Edmonton. Into the Rebel zone, and he got crushed. Cutting across the blue line. Now Brady Crake's going to go after Jake Missoura. Crake, a couple of big right hands to start the fight off. Missoura not even able to throw a couple, and Brady Crake, the tough guy out of California.
In the middle, he'll chip it forward. Olescu, partial breakaway left side. He shoots, stopped by Tabashnik, as he has been brilliant in this game, especially in the second. And now we got pushing and shoving. And this will draw a crowd on the far side of the Regina zone. And a takedown inside the Regina zone with 3:38 to play in period two. Swift Current up by a score of 2-1 with Kucherenkov giving the Broncos the lead. And what happened there? Julian Mays was taken out. He's on his hands and knees covering his face, and everybody grab a partner. Here we go. We got a fight. Mayette drops the gloves with Potter. Inside the Regina line, they grapple onto each other. Potter falls down. Mayette lands a right on him. Mayette with a couple of punches on the back of the head of Potter. Potter comes back with a left. The linespersons come in and break it up.
In the meantime, the players that are here get an opportunity to show what they got. And right now, this young group that has 13 rookies in the lineup have themselves a 3-2 lead, and now we got a fight. Breaking out, Matteo Fabrizi put a lick on Ethan Moore, and right away over is Caden Meyer to grab onto the 20-year-old, and Meyer and Fabrizi wrestle, and down to the ice they go. How about that for Caden Meyer? 17 years old, and he grabs onto the 20-year-old, Matteo Fabrizi.
Jabosch, a hip check from Vaughn. Pile up in the near corner as Ament when tumbling down the near corner. Ament's going to get up, and he's going to jump on top, and they're going to go. Alexander Andre and Henry Ament. Ament wraps him up in a headlock, comes on underneath with an uppercut, clips him in the chin. Andre trying to get his right arm free, swings over the top. They're still swinging. Ament wrestles him down.
Came up with it for a moment before it was sent around the near side. Pantelis from the right point as Ness and Gleesman are going to go. They've been building up to it, and here we go. Two big boys. They lock up right away. Gleesman's first WHL fight takes a couple of body shots. Ness trying to get strong arm position on him, and Gleesman takes him down. The two of them had talked all off the face-off, and then all shift long.
With this Cougars team, he's got 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and there's still plenty of time to fight. A fight as Anisimov along the right wing has dropped, and he drops the Portland player with 2 quick right hands.
The Lodge on the wing. Lodge plays up the left side, takes a hit there from Lodwick for his efforts. And there's a tough hit there as Barrett and Kachkowski collide. Penalty called. He's got it up against the board, starting to fire a few shots away. Now both guys let go of the jerseys, and they're starting to fire with both hands. Chenier lands a couple hard ones there. Chenier's got no Helen, now Mitchell McAlone firing away. This one's got the crowd on their feet as they fire away. Shots back and forth. That one was right on the chin from Chenier. Another one from the chin from Chenier. What a scrap.
Off on the right wing side. He battles with Mathis Preston, and crunch there is Luke Powell and Sam Oremba. They're going to go at the end of the period here. Luke Powell a right now, Oremba a right. Powell trying to get one in. Another right from Powell. They're tied up here in the Spokane zone. A couple more rights from Oremba, and the two wrestle to the ice as the period expires.
20 seconds of the period. McLaughlin, his shot tipped and flutters harmlessly into the near side circle where it's picked up by Vancouver. Now Sparks with speed, and we got a fight along the near side. It's Reed Brown throwing a few haymakers against Ethan Middlestead. Middlestead goes for the right hook. Now Reed Brown trying to connect. Few jabs thrown, and there's a full swing as they trade heavy right-handers. Brown gets one on the chin. Middlestead tries to go for the uppercut. Reed Brown ties up Middlestead on the headlock. Now Middlestead and Brown drag each other to the ice.
Line and moved around the wall for Walt. Poked up the boards. Here comes Schwartz. And here we're going to see a fight. Mikachuk and Waltz. Waltz takes a right hander, gives a couple himself before being hauled down. And Mikachuk throwing a couple shots in while Waltz was down.
With a minute and a half to run, another penalty coming.
Number 11 has 11
here's a fight.
goals and 11 assists, and here we go. Jack Finnegan is going to drop the gloves here. I believe it's with Braden Hall-Burton. Here we go. Jack Finnegan, tape wrists and all. He's ready to go. Fight right at center. Linesmen tell him to hurry up as they're still squared up. Still squaring up at center. Now here we go. Hall-Burton, some big lefts early on Finnegan. Finnegan though right there with them. Trying to get his right hand free. He does. And now him and Hall-Burton trading shots here at center. And Hall-Burton and Finnegan both wrestle to the ice. A good tilt and the Cougars are going to the power play.
Yes.
On the McCann one. Tigers in their own zone, turn it over, a check thrown by Newtons. That's going to draw an arm up. It's Corbet jumps after Ethan Newtons. These two are going to fight. Newtons and Corbet go tumbling to the ice. It was Polatine taking the check as Newtons had Polatine lined up, and we're going to see a Tiger penalty coming from it.
Silvertips, 30 shots on net. None of them have broken through A.J. Riles, and now Henry Amen's going to drop the gloves. He'll wrestle down to the ice, Tristan Peterson.
Zahaski trying to track it down here with Caleb Hartman. He'll go to the end boards, and then Zahaski went in, got hit late by Hartman, and now we got a fight here going on. There's a penalty coming up. Zahaski looks hurt on the play, and we got Hartman engaged with, is it Jordan Keller? Trying to get a number. Ryan Michaels now pushing with somebody. Michaels got to stay out of it here because Blazers are down to 5 defensemen. Zahaski went hard into the end boards and is shaken up. Fight's over here. Keller and Hartman are the ones that wrestle down to the ice.
And now play the puck to the V's end. Now it's turned back quickly the other way, and we have a scrap. Tristan Peterson with the first WHL fight in V's history as they're trading blows. Peterson with Corbet. Back and forth they go. Peterson has him jerseyed as they keep swinging away. And I think I'll give the decision to Tristan Peterson here.
Neutral zone draw controlled by the Blades. Dangerous hit in the corner. Tyler Parr gets in there on Bryce Pickford, and they're going to drop the gloves. Pickford going at Tyler Parr. Pickford none too pleased with that check in the numbers. Very surprised the arm stayed down as that was a hit on the Tiger captain from behind. And Pickford will get the better of Parr in this tilt. And we will see what comes of this as Bryce Pickford defending himself in the tilt.
Unassisted time. There's an assist on that, 100%. Hey, there's a shot by the Broncos, held on to by Hutchison. Little pushing and shoving after the whistle. Schmidt trying to go at it with a Bronco Kirichenko. Schmidt trying to load up that right hand. Schmidt just missing. Schmidt lands a right hand. Kirichenkov's helmet's off. Schmidt's helmet's off. They'll wrestle to the glass, and the linesman will get in. Schmidt trying to get a couple extra whacks in there. Kirichenko with one last shot as well. Yeah, he almost punched the linesman there. The circle draw. Semenuk, Brown, McKenzie, Paquette, and Gagne. Here's another one. Semenuk dropping it with Darby. Semenuk working the right hands. Darby trying to get it right. Semenuk with a couple of shots to the chops. He'll land another one. Semenuk's pumping it. Darby got a right hand in as well as they wrestled down to the ice. The old dogs locking up late in the hockey game. Brown catching him. Shot goes wide, and then Panelakis with an opportunity behind the play. We've got Dagenstein and Dingman sizing each other up in the Broncos zone. They'll come in tight. Dagenstein misses with a right. Dingman comes in with a right hand. He'll miss. Shots being thrown, nothing landed. Dagenstein and Dingman both landing shots now. They're in tight, working some body shots. Dingman may have got an uppercut in there. Dagenstein comes back with a shot. These are two big bowls as they wrestle down to the ice. 6:34 to go. Fans on their feet. 6-1. Moose Jaw leading.
Diagonal dump in. Fabrizi tapped it up the boards. Wormel forced out to center ice by the Hurricanes. Feuder just drilled duel from behind. And Shane Smith is going to take exception. There was going to be a penalty to Feuder on the play, and now a fight between Feuder and Smith. Rights over top by Feuder. Smith trying to get the helmet off of Feuder. He does, and comes over top with some more rights. A big lunge by Feuder with a right. Now some jabs to the side, and the linesman will step in.
As Stewart run into, not able to get the pass off, make that Finley as the sticks are up high. And now we're going to have a fight here. Max Finley going at it with Jan Skok. As Finley tied up, has the jersey up around his head. Skok trying to get some shots and not able to find a good angle to throw it as he's hitting the side of Finley. As Finley gets a good right at the end and will wrestle his man down to the ice. Max Finley had enough of the pushing towards the head.
Working the cycle here of the Oil Kings. Pinned along the wall. McNutt there for Regina. Now we got a fight. It's going to be Max Curran. He's going to go with Dayton Deschamps. They square up here right at the blue line. Now they grab on. A right from Curran. Now a right from Deschamps. Looking to get their balance. A couple more rights from Deschamps and a right from Curran. They trade punches. An uppercut from Deschamps. Now a right from Curran and the knockout. Max Curran. The blow on Deschamps.
Ice went into the end boards a little bit awkwardly. Pushed forward by Nolan Chasko, and now we're going to get a scrap as Vaughn will come over the top on Grady Martin. Vaughn clips him with a couple rights. Martin had thrown the hit on Liskey that downed him. Vaughn, the experienced fighter for the Tips, gets his right on three. Martin ducking. Martin wrapping him up around the back of the head. Vaughn now clips him with a couple of lefts as he gets that on three. Vaughn swinging over the top with his right, trying to drag down Martin. He gets the leverage and forces him down. Jackson Vaughn's 17th career fight will go down as a W.
On the left wing, Andreessen. Now McKenzie in the right corner. Craik and Brady Ness tangle, and now they're going to fight. A couple of heavy rights early from Craik. They're going to grapple along the penalty box, and now they'll separate a bit to get loose. A couple of rights from Ness, and Craik trying to get a few more in. Linesmen come in to separate them. Ness wants another piece of Craik. Nothing's going to come of it, though.
The puck out to center ice to Tash. He'll snap the puck in toward the net, steered aside at the near post by the goaltender, who almost fumbled the puck, and now the gloves have been dropped between Holberton and Timchak. If you go back to this weekend up in Kamloops, they were prevented from going at it by the officials. Not this time. They are going toe-to-toe. Holberton trying to get free. Timchak trying to get his arm out. Helmet of Holberton goes off. The linesmen get in between the two players and pull them apart. We'll have fighting majors here.
Scoreless game, Wenatchee and the Victoria Royals. Back out to the right point. Wristed on, save made, and we've got a fight down to the far corner. They drop the gloves and they are swinging. Waltz and Andre, they get tied up. Andre throwing a couple rights. Waltz comes through with a couple big rights. Pulling over the top. Still going. Waltz misses in front. And the linesmen break them up as they jump in.
His pass to Kazicki broken up as Preston loses his helmet. And both arms are going to come up. And now we got to fight Bauer. Dumansky, a big right hand on Chase Harrington. As now they're going to go at center. Dumansky, another good right, an uppercut, and he knocks down Harrington. Oh my goodness, a vicious right hand from the newly minted Cougar captain. Here's Ethan Hamilton. He takes a big hit at center from Owen Shetler. Now Dermot Johnston takes exception. He's going to have his first NHL fight here against Owen Shetler. Oh, Dermot Johnston! A big right knocks down Allen.
Was yanked after facing 11 and allowing 4, so a similar stat line. As there's an awkward collision in the neutral zone where Cole Temple downs a man, and now they're going to go. Stewart and Temple, they'll drop the gloves. Stewart comes over the top, clips Temple a couple of times. Concern for Odin Valkonen, who went face first into the glass.
Trying to twist and turn his way around as Gordon Carroll with it, sneaking in off the line with a big hit delivered there was Mohanen. Knocked the helmet of Ryland Ing right off, and Ing's got to go across the ice and change. Now we get Lodwick up the ice, and he'll work in on Mohanen. So Mohanen, who got Ryland Ing, now has to deal with Harrison Lodwick. Lodwick saying that is not acceptable.
Simon Loveland, backdoor feed, but the shot is fanned on, and Cash Alger East turns back the other way, and he's hit knee on knee. That's going to be a penalty, and now Tastad drops the gloves. Tastad and Loveson going back and forth. Tastad over the top with a couple. Now Loveland catches him with a couple as Cash Alger East lay on the ice. These two swinging away. Loveland and Tastad swinging, and now Tastad finishing things off, pulls the bucket off. Tastad still swinging over the top. He lands a couple rights as now Loveland counters again, and we have a great tilt here as the refs will finally break it up, but a great job from Morgan Tastad. Burek stops up, spins away there. The big body defenseman gets it down low. And now a fight in the corner. Swinging away as Burek and Larocque go toe-to-toe as Burek landed a couple big rights there on Georges Larocque's son, who I'm sure has been taught from a young age to do that.
Different line. Look for the Rebels on this one. Oh, big open ice hit as Thurston comes up and absolutely levels Doobie, and then he's accosted by two Prince Albert Raiders, and we're going to have a tilt here. We're going to have two fights at center ice in Schmidt and Barrett. And inside the Raiders blue line, it was Thurston engaged with Matthias Mann.
In front, Jakub Vanacek fires it into the Wenatchee bench with half a second to go. And now Rios and Cook. Rios getting some cheap shots in. Cook has dropped the gloves. They will wrap up and fall over. Rios got a heavy cross check up on Cash Cook and then gave him a sucker punch.
Who's now got a Gordie Howe hat trick for the Blades, by the way. A goal and 2 assists. Lavoie came with a reputation as being one of the toughest guys in the MJHL last season, and that was a heavy right hand he landed on Martin coming up underneath. On the far side, poke checked by Kachkowski. Kachkowski lined up and hammered into the door by Caleb Hadland, and now Parr and Hadland are talking, and so are Pohl and Hadland, and it's going to be Pohl who drops the gloves. Wheat King captain trying to spark his team with a big hit. He takes a stiff left jab and now comes over the top. Pohl trying to get that right arm free. Hadland trying to come over the top. Pohl does so, trying to rip Hadland's helmet off. Hadland lands an uppercut. Now a couple of right hands by Caleb Hadland. Dodges a right and takes Pohl down. Hadland trying to give his team a spark. Bethal, he fights his way ahead over the Blades blue line. 6 seconds to go, and now Boehm comes in with a finish check, and he and Olsen are going to go. We got our third fight of the final 5 minutes of this third period. This one had been building, and we might have another behind the play between Egan and Botel. Boehm and Olsen lock up. Olsen landing rights. Boehm counters. Olsen trying to swing away. Boehm now landing rights. Olsen comes underneath. Two young guys chucking away. Boehm with some strength, holding him off. Coming over the top. He's getting the sweater over Olsen's head. Up against the glass they go. Olsen comes back now. A spirited tilt between two guys who had been mixing it up most of the night. And this one will end with the linesman coming in to wrestle everybody apart with just 2 seconds to go in the third period. The third scrap of the last minutes of this third period. We wanted to see pushback.
Cross right side. Here's a shot there from Maloney, and a glove save made by Eric too as we get some unpleasantries after the whistle. And now a fight is erupting. Lesiak and Meyer are going, and Meyer loses his footing, wants to bounce back up into the scrap, but the two lines persons have jumped in between, and now they're in a precarious spot. And the referee is scolding over the shoulder, saying, "Let's go."
To center, here's Clark Schaefer looking for a step. Schaefer bumped by Vanacek as the puck goes to the goal, and Xavier Wendt got run into as he and now Abagosh dropping the gloves with Clark Schaefer, who got bowled over into Xavier Wendt. Abagosh immediately coming to the defense of his goaltender. Went is back on his feet, by the way, as Abagosh and Clark Schaefer tie up in the corner. Abagosh will have his helmet pop off as the two linesmen get in between them. There was a penalty coming up on the play.
There to slap in the center, and Johnson there, he'll retaliate back in. Oh, and he's hit hard by Gas. A nice piece of contact there. Now fight. Gas is going to try to throw some punches here.
Big size disadvantage here, advantage for the Rockets.
Yes, Soberaz remains in the right corner. Both guys do a good job of tying up one another. And again, Gas will try to throw a couple of rights at the end, but he's proved he's out of gas, so... And Gazowski, he'll just glide the puck back towards the Rocket blue line. Lajoie collides with Corbet. Then Gerwing in there, and he takes down a man. Play continues.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we got a fight. Lajoie and probably Corbet. Yeah, and is Corbet landing on top of Lajoie? Not a lot of punches thrown between those two, but again, there's a lot of body contact just inside the Rocket blue line. So.
No icing on the play. Pantelis picks it up to the right of the Wheat King net. Up to Baumüller at center. He got pinned hard by Skok. And the Wheat Kings are able to fight their way loose as Baumüller wants Skok to go in front of the benches, and away they go. Baumüller and Skok. Baumüller lands a heavy right away. Now uppercuts by Baumüller. He's got Skok in some trouble. Skok coming back and landing rights of his own. Baumüller corking him away as Joby Baumüller finally had enough and started swinging away.
Molgachev, one of the bigger hits of the hockey game for the Calgary Hitmen, and Molgachev now the puck. Look out! Bison and a low hit on him, and down goes Molgachev. Pasarchuk is after Bison, and then they go to center and start throwing. Both players hit the ice though. Low hit from Betty Bison and Wyatt Pasarchuk.
He'll gain the red line. He'll dump it towards the goal. Stick save made. Remains in the corner. Whoa. Halbertson, I think, took body a little aggressively on a Rocket. Now fight near the corner. Halbertson's tough. Varga trying to come into engage. And so that's likely Calder Varga's first fight in the WHL, and he took left wing. Moves back in. Left face of Dodgers. The wrister high wide of the goal. And now we got to flare it back on the play. Corbet. And is it Cumby? Yeah, it is. Cumby and Corbet as they try to grapple right at the Rocket blue line. And maybe two punches thrown. Ucanco, minor hockey player of the week. Oh, now we got a fight coming far side board as the plexiglass actually coming ajar in the left corner. And now we got a fight revolving around. I think Hartman is the T-Bird. Is it Gerwing for Kelowna? Again, this is happening to the far side inside the Seattle zone. The linesmen come in to separate those two. And so that is technically our third fight of the hockey game.
Puts it into the slot. Warriors intercept, shoot, miss the open net, but Vlakovic will slap it into the open net for the insurance goal. 6-4 Moose Jaw, 15.5 seconds left in the third as the Rebels taking exception to the slap shot into the open net by the Moose Jaw Warriors captain, as you might expect, as tensions boil over right at center ice in the timekeeper's area.
Yeah, Matt Gard didn't like it much. Hutchison's in there now, and Shore's getting
now
in
Shore's
there too.
going all the way, and you're right, Hutchison came all the way out to center, and now we might have a goalie fight. Meantime, McInnes is going toe-to-toe. Both guys were on the ice just inside the blue line. He was going after it with Connor Schmidt, who he just punched the linesman in the face. That's going to get looked at later on, as Keith McInnes was under the linesman at the Moose Jaw blue line, and Connor Schmidt was still trying to punch him, ended up getting the linesman right in the face. Meantime, McSwain is tied up. All heck breaking loose after Lyndon Lakovic scores a slap shot empty net goal with 15.5 seconds left in the third.
Wrestler, his birthday is November 28th. He's not even 17 yet. Here we go. As the gloves are going to drop, Ozzie McIntyre getting into it with the defenseman Boston Tate. Right off the face-off.
Chip down the left wing into the Tiger zone, recovered by Riley Steen, who has the opening goal tonight, and we're going to see a fight. Cam Parr dropping the mitts. He's going at it with Nathan Brown as Parr gets thrown down. They pop back up. They're still throwing. And the linesman will step in to separate the two.
Center, Cougars numbers the other way if they turn it up. Here's Lemire to the left wing circle. Trying to power by Ellick. Gets to the Cardinals, but couldn't get the shot away. Cougars hold the line. Dumansky flicks it toward the goals. Now Lemire and Ellick are going to fight. Here we go. Caden Lemire and Charlie Ellick will circle and take a look. Big heavyweight tilt here at CN Center. They line each other up on the blue line. And here we go. Lemire missed the right. Ellick gets Lemire. They tie up right there from Lemire. Lemire with some left hands to Charlie Ellick. That gets the crowd excited. Ellick a good right. Lemire now still going to wrestle Ellick to the ice and rip his helmet off as they tie up there on the glass. Good tilt between Lemire and Charlie Ellick. Now in the pot. Winner will get half of whatever the pot. We got a fight. Jack Finnegan and Ismail Abagosh. They were in the penalty box. They must have challenged each other while sitting for 2 minutes, and they're going to go right back to the box after this. Finnegan now. He's had a couple of fights in the preseason. Now he's ready to go in the regular season. Big rights from Finnegan early. Going to take that helmet off of Abagosh. Does just that. Abagosh a good right hand. Finnegan now trying to wrestle him to the ice. As a right from Finnegan now, getting a body shot from Abagosh. This is a great fight on both ends. No shot from Abagosh. Finnegan looking to maybe get a punch through here, but Abagosh has him tied up pretty good. He throws a big right to Finnegan. Finnegan now trying to wrestle. Another right from Abagosh. And now Finnegan trying to wrestle and get a takedown, and he will. And he gets a roar from the crowd. Good fight between both Abagosh and Jack Finnegan.
Get it out to center. Pantelakis breaking in, lined up and hammered by Pantelis and got hit offside, and now Hawker and Pantelis want to go. Up against the glass they go, the linesman piles in. Johnson and Pantelakis are into it, throwing glove punches. And you got to think somebody out of this scrum is going to do a little more. Johnson wants to go, and here they go. Pantelakis has the gloves off. Johnson takes him down in a heartbeat. Frustrated with the no goal call, Nick Johnson just overpowers Pantelakis.
Well, he's trying to spark his group.
Yeah, and that's what that line is out there for.
And another hit there in the corner, and it will be a penalty as Cal Stone runs into his man. And Stone drops the mitts now, and he's swinging away. And he takes his man to the ice and feeds Miles Cooper a couple more as Cal Stone throws some rights to try and get the group going.
Wow.
But you had Lesiuk from the Hurricanes and number 26, Coy Funk, the Portage La Prairie boy, hacking each other, and they're going to go. They're going to go.
Right off the face-off, Lesiuk and Funk. Lefts by Lesiuk, comes over top with a right. Funk's got his jersey over his head. Linesmen are going to step in, and Lesiuk tried to keep going. And Funk will fall to the ice.
Shot from the line is blocked in front. DeMars ties up his man. And a huge hit there as Burrick runs over his man, and now the gloves are dropped. Burrick throwing hard rights now as he goes toe-to-toe with Miettinen. Burrick and Miettinen trading punches, and then a takedown there as Sean Burrick with a huge hit just inside the blue line.
Hobarton's helmet right now. Throwing overhand with the left, trying to get an uppercut. He's got the jersey pulled over Ash's hand. And pulled them apart.
Game. Here's Chorney looking for Schmidt down right wing. He's lined up, hit hard, and Chorney is going to drop the mitts with Tate stepping up for his teammate Chorney. His first Western Hockey League fight, and he tackles Tate to the ice. Two 16-year-olds, and you love to see the character from chances. Osborne down the left wing, taking it behind the net. A centering pass at the back of the net. Skok trying to wrap his man up. Rios stepping up into the near corner. And now Tittleback, we're going to have a fight. Skok dropping the mitts with Osborne. He is throwing some rights. Skok, now they're holding one another as some rights
from Osborne. Scott trying to respond, and they both go down to the ice. A good tilt. Two defensemen going at it with 5:27 to go in the third.
Maybe we don't. We'll play 5-on-5. Here, now going to find a center. Corbet. Kaplan. Big rights here at center ice. Corbet couple over the top. That's actually Schaefer. And that's going to do it for that fight between those two. Nate Corbet leads the WHL in fighting majors with 4. He'll skate in. Gerwing looks for a trailer. Trying to feed the puck at close range here, and did. Whoa! Hit hard against the near side board, knocked down. And now a fight here as Barrett was hit. And now Gerwing grabs a hold of Vaughn. And they will try to throw some punches. Vaughn a big right. And that staggers Gerwing, and that's going to do it. Then Gerwing gets back up, throws another right. And just when you thought the fight was over, Gerwing came through with a right of his own.
We'll send it up the ice. Calvert through the middle as he's got Parr coming in. He'll just cut across the blue line and dump it in. Head off on a change. Lakovic grabbing the puck. Here we go. Center ice. Parr and Ness will drop the mitts. A couple of old timers here in the Western Hockey League. Ness has the size as he comes in on Parr. Ness missing with a right hand. Parr trying to load that right. Ness with a left jab. Over the top, Ness pumps a couple of shots on Parr. Parr misses with a right. Ness with another couple of shots. Parr holding his own, though. Less working the left jabs. Now Ness with some body shots. Parr comes in with a nice shot. Ness answers back. There's a good old time tilt between two old guys.
To the right slot, Holt shoots. That one's blocked out front. 3 seconds left. Puck in the right corner. Rebels get it out front. It goes off the goaltender, and it's over as McInnes had it on his stick right as the final buzzer goes. The Spokane Chiefs hold on to win by a score of 3-2 as the tensions boil over a little bit here. We're going to maybe see a fight at the blue line as McInnes and Harrington are going to get room to square off. The game is over. Harrington gets a quick uppercut in on McInnes, who replies with one of his own. McInnes loses his helmet on the play. Now he takes off Harrington's. Oh, McInnes just landed an uppercut, and Harrington's jersey comes up and up for the linesman to get in and break it up. But the game, it's over.
Up 4-2 as Perreault buried into from behind into the boards, and Matthews going to jump his man and go into a fight as he's hauled down, punched while he's down by McCann. Perreault slow to get up, but he is up and looking no worse, whereas Caleb Matthews wrestling him down ice again for a third time, punched in the back of the head by McCann as Caleb Matthews going into the defense of his young teammate. That's what you love to see.
Absolutely love that response.
The offensive end with a face-off win. Pin to the wall. Fryer throws his man down. And now we're going to see a jump in on the play. And Seth Fryer's going to go on a tilt here. It's going to be a swinging play up against Stengram. Fryer, we have a couple of tussles going on, but Fryer's going to be the main one. Up against Stengram. Fryer trying to shake that large arm free. Will throw his man to the boards, trying to mouse him around with a good uppercut. Goes over the top. Stengram with a good throw over the arm. And we're going to have a pin down. My goodness, what a hit from Fryer to kick off the fireworks.
On the right wing side, he battles with Mathis Preston, and crunch there is Luke Powell and Sam Oremba, they're going to go at the end of the period here. Luke Powell right now, Oremba right. Powell trying to get one in. Another right from Powell. They're tied up here in the Spokane zone. A couple more rights from Oremba, and the two wrestle to the ice as the period expires. Luke Powell and Sam Oremba puts a jolt into this crowd as the
goal where it's picked up by Vancouver. Now Sparks with speed, and we got a fight along the near side. It's Reed Brown throwing a few haymakers against Ethan Middlestead. Middlestead goes for the right hook. Now Reed Brown trying to connect. Few jabs thrown, and there's a full swing as they trade heavy right-handers. Brown gets one on the chin. Middlestead tries to go for the uppercut. Reed Brown ties up Middlestead on the headlock. Now Middlestead and Brown drag each other to the ice. And that gets the crowd here in Langley on its feet.
On the boards, Royals got it to the line. Now they'll skate through center ice. Schwartz, now we got a scrap down low. Mason Mikachuk has dropped the gloves. A big right hand off the hop, and he throws his man down on the ice. Behind the play, Mason Mikachuk dropping the gloves with Cruz Waltz.
Silvertips, 30 shots on net. None of them have broken through A.J. Riles, and now Henry Amon's going to drop the gloves. He'll wrestle down to the ice, Tristan Peterson.
Mahonen with it. Moves it against the left side board. Ruck can't clear. Then spun to the ice surface here and do a fight. Corbet coming into engage. Tries to fight Newtons. Newtons then lands on top of Corbin. That's going to do it for that tilt between the two. Not a lot of punches thrown.
With a minute and a half gone, another penalty coming.
Number 11 has
here's
11
a fight.
goals and 11 assists, and here we go. Jack Finnegan is going to drop the gloves here. I believe it's with Braden Hall-Burton. Here we go. Jack Finnegan, tape wrists and all. He's ready to go. Fight right at center. Linesmen tell him to hurry up as they're still squared up. Still squaring up at center. Now here we go. Hall-Burton, some big lefts early on Finnegan. Finnegan though right there with them. Trying to get his right hand free. He does. And now him and Hall-Burton trading shots here at center. And Hall-Burton and Finnegan both wrestle to the ice. A good tilt and the Cougars to go to the power play.
Yes. How things have quickly turned here. And
Tries to hook it in front. Vanacek tried to clear, held onside. Thurston a shot and a calm, cool glove save by Xavier Wentz. As Jakub Vanacek getting involved. Jackson Adam also getting into a scrum here, trying to swing over top of the linesman. He has dropped the gloves now with Gavin Clark. Adam raining down punches on Clark, who goes down in a heap.
Hammy didn't back down. I give him
full marks, 100%. Warriors had won the draw, and then it's flipped down, and here we go. Who do we got? Bridgman and Ness. They're going to line up right at center ice. These are two big bulls, Ness and Bridgman. A couple of 19-year-olds sizing up. Ness missing with the right hand. Bridgman misses with the right. Ness trying to work the left jabs. Bridgman gets a nice left jab in. Another left jab by Bridgman. Now, Brady Ness comes with some right hands. Bridgman down to one knee. Bridgman misses with a right. Ness lands one. Bridgman with a stiff right. And they'll go barreling down to the ice. Those are big guys.
That landed some big bombs. Game 7. Speaking of Game 7s, we're being told from our production crew here, and we're going to have a fight. Brown rips off the gloves and throws a couple of haymakers on Dmitry Yakutsenyak. Brown feeding Yakutsenyak. Yakutsenyak gets in a couple of trades. Brown still going with the right hook. Now some uppercuts from Yakutsenyak, and they're both bloodied as they go to the ice.
the far corner. Bame off the goal line, works it back out front. Schlenker's looking behind him. There's a rugby scrum in the Pats crease. Some of that puck is still loose. Gleesman finds it, tries to stuff it on goal. Schlenker the save, and he hangs on. And now Bethal and McNutt are into it, and so are Cohn and Gleesman. And Bethal seems to want McNutt to go. And behind the play, we got another fight. It's Boyce and Paul. Everybody paired off in this scrum. Ryan Boyce and Mathis Paul, the main event in the far corner. Paul lands a heavy right. Boyce comes with lefts. Paul lands a couple. Boyce counters with a left. Paul trying to come over the top. Boyce strong-armed against the glass. Now he's coming with left uppercuts on Paul. Paul's trying to shield his head as Boyce lands left. Now Paul a right, Boyce a left. They swing away on the far side, and now we got another fight. It's Gleesman and Cohn. Gleesman landing rights on Cohn, who's trying to hold him off. Cohn shielding him well with the long reach. Gleesman lands a heavy right. Cohn chucks one. Gleesman answers. They're firing away in Pat's territory. Gloves and sticks everywhere, and now helmets too as Cohn knocks Gleesman's off. Gleesman pins Cohn and throws him to the ice. Fourth line shift, old-time hockey. And it's a yard sale in Pat's territory with 9:17 to go in the third. Everybody paired off.
Knocked off of his stick. O'Neill, and then it's pushed ahead by Powell. Now Powell is going to go here with Brock Birch, and the Oil Kings and Broncos here as Powell gets a right in. Another right from Powell, a couple rights from Birch, a right up top, and an uppercut from Powell. Couple more rights from Birch, another right from Powell, couple more rights, and they tangle up, and the linesmen get in there to separate the two. Side for O'Neill. He'll go rink wide and sent into Now Sawyer Dingman grabs Landon Hansen and just starts throwing punches to the Oil King forward. And Hansen was not a willing combatant there. Dingman wanted Hansen to respond for the hit on Alescu.
Yeah.
Oil Kings will work it out to the left wing side, now driving it wide. Here is Andrew O'Neill cutting to the net. O'Neill trying to take it by. The rebound, it's held onto by Eskin. Another save, and now we got a fight. It's going to be Landon Hansen and Carter Moen. Hansen gets a right in. Moen another one. Now another right from Hansen. A right, couple rights from Moen. Well, they wrestle a little bit. To the ice they go. Seconds to go in this third period into the Bronco zone. Williams battling along the right half wall. That'll draw some more crowds, and as time comes to a close in this one, everybody grab a partner, as I think the rest of the clock is just going to roll off here. And don't it feel good? But now everybody grab a partner, and some fights breaking out at the end of this one. I do wonder if there's some supplemental discipline that comes at the end of this hockey game.
Well, Noah Amu was getting the better of his dance partner, and then the referees jumped in to save the Bronco.
Yeko and Hawker.
I'm not sure which Bronco Ta'amu was pummeling.
Klippenstein and Darby are into it behind the play. We got a fight. Klippenstein and Darby locked up in the far corner. Klippenstein coming with uppercuts. Darby can handle himself. He's answering back. Up against the glass they go. Klippenstein with body shots. Now to the head. Darby counters. Two strong guys who know what they're doing in this scenario, and the linesmen decide not to let it carry any further with 4:26 to go in the third period.
Matt Williams will lean and take this one. Oh. Now Brady Craik and Jackson Feuder are going to go at it here at center ice. They are taking a big wind-up for it. Now they'll grab on at center, and now a couple rights from Feuder to start. Craik gets a couple rights in. An uppercut from Craik, and a few more heavy ones from the Yorba Linda, California product.
Legault got an initial feel for it, and now we're going to have a gloves drop moment between Foster and Caffey. Nolan Caffey's first WHL fight against Foster. Foster Foster reaches over the top and drags down Caffey. Foster 6'3", 180, his 19th career fight, and it's against the rookie Caffey.
Kaczynski takes the puck, fed back to Gavin. Gavin dances, throws it down low to Jacobson to his backhand. Robbed by Rotar, and then Jacobson got rammed in after the whistle. Jacobson's down and hurt. No reason for that not to be a penalty on the Hurricanes. Evans is into a fight with Misselbacher, of all people, who came to Jacobson's defense. Jacobson is still down and hurt with 3:20 to go in the third. No reason whatsoever this shouldn't be a Wheat King power play.
Opportunities to get on goal, couldn't. Puck back over left side. Allen slap shot and a pass, a rebound and a score! Coco Armstrong follows from the right wing, and now we get the pushing and shoving afterwards as Christensen going to wrestle down. I think that's Sarkanoff.
Cook on left wing. Paveo chasing after it as Cook has the puck on left wing. He takes a hard hit, and now Cook immediately drops the gloves and goes after the Vancouver player that hit him. Every single player on the ice is involved in this corner. Cash Cook got flattened to the near side corner, and he immediately dropped the gloves and went after the Vancouver player that ran him over. 1:07 to go in the period. There is going to be a number of penalties to settle after this. That was a big-time hit in the corner, and Cash Cook is never one to shy away.
Goes back behind the goal, moved up the right sideboard, and Perreault takes it to center. Penalty coming up here as Gerwing is going to get into a fight here with Fryer, right at center. Two big boys grappling in the neutral zone. Fryer tries to throw an uppercut. Gerwing then throws one of his own. Tries to throw a couple over the top. And Perreault's okay. Gets back up as the training staff coming to the aid of Perreault. But Perreault quickly gets to his skates.
10 shots to 6 in favor of the Wild. Elliott soccers it onto his stick. Plays at left point, and Hahn knocked down by Southern. Dropping the gloves. Elliott standing up for his teammate. Here we go! Elliott coming over the top. Doesn't connect. Southern does. Tries to shoot through with a left hand off the collar. Couple swings from Southern, another big one with the right hand. Elliott wraps up the shoulders, taken down with 5:08 left in the first period.
Now Thompson throws that puck right back into the Silvertip zone. Dillard goes back to pick it up, and now we got a fight here. Whoa, we got Timchak dropping the gloves with Clark Schaefer. They're going to get together. Schaefer fell right away. Timchak trying to get that right hand going. Schaefer and Timchak tied up in front of the penalty box doors. Doing a good job now trying to play defense. Timchak trying to go up underneath, so is Schaefer. Continue to joust for some position here, trying to free up an arm. Schaefer tries to land it right in there. Good right by Timchak. They get together. Timchak goes to lefts. Schaefer some rights. Trading over the top, these two guys. They keep going. Timchak trying to electrify the fans, and the linesmen are going to step in here, and Timchak's going to say, let's get going here, folks.
Come the Wheat Kings. It'll Baumüller on the backhand, puts it wide of the Tiger goal, and we're going to have a fight at center ice. Cameron Parr drops him with Lavoie. Bit of a height difference here as Lavoie and Parr engage at center. Parr with an overhand right as they begin to swing. Parr connects on a right one, Lavoie. Lavoie back over top with a couple rights. Parr counters with a right of his own. As they're going to tumble to the ice. Parr with a couple more on Lavoie as the linesmen step in to separate the combatants. They'll eat.
Up to Poole in the neutral zone, and he'll jam it down the ice as Nathan Brown finishes his check. And now him and Shetler are going to go dancing. Brown and Shetler at the blue line. Brown reaches in. Shetler's got him by the scruff of his neck. Connects on a couple of punches, and these two will get separated.
Net, push it out of the zone off the stick of Kale. Cumby back to play it. Meanwhile, the gloves have been dropped. Hartman and Kale at center ice. We said to watch this. They had a little altercation, a little conversation at the end of the second period, and they have dropped the gloves right at center ice. Both players trying to get that right hand free. Hartman trying to get the helmet off with Kale. He does, and that gets the linesman attention quickly. They separate the two players.
Exchanged the fists here early on. And it all started off right there with that big hit. Then Birch and Duel said, all right, you want to go? Let's do it right now. Why waste any time? And they kind of both took a tumble to the ground, and then they got up along the wall. And some nice fists there by Duel. Birch got a couple in as well. And a very evenly matched fight.
Poked to the near wall by Red Deer as Masura moves it up. Big hit there by Brady Ness, and a penalty upcoming as he drilled Cohen Lodge. Ness and Jake Masura going to drop the gloves. That might even up the calls there, Derek. Ness and Masura lock in at center ice. Ness working the rights. Can't land anything yet. Masura holding on. He misses with the right hand. Ness misses with the right. Ness trying to work some right hands. Now they just wrestle down to the ice. No harm, no foul on the fight. The initial penalty coming to Brady Ness. But Derek, do you think Jake Masura evens it up?
Bet the Cougars would score first. That's exactly what happened.
Cash those tickets.
Yes. 9-3 when scoring first. Victoria, which generally allows the first goal. They're used to this situation. They're 4-5-1 when giving up the first goal of the game. Cougars, well, 1-0 lead, 5.5 to go first period.
Cougars a face-off win. Carson Carls is wrapped up there by Arroyo. Victoria gets it free. It comes up top to Kosarev. He walks the line, swings it to the right point. Fryer. Rister is gobbled up by number 31. We got more pushing and shoving in front of the Prince George Cougar goal. And you look at the makeup of this game, right? Victoria, a lot of chances. The top guys weren't generating a whole bunch. And sometimes when you need contributions, it's great to see guys like that fourth line able to come through.
Well, it is, and that's what you need sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think you're a little frustrated if you're Victoria, because I think they would tell you they played very, very well. 12 minutes and that one great scoring chance. That's just what it takes sometimes. But one thing about Victoria, since they put up the goal, they've been battling back here.
Kosarev flicked it toward the goal, went over top of net. Lajoie and Kosarev are going to get into it. They're drop the gloves. Here we go at center. Jet Lajoie and Kosarev dropping the mitts here at center ice. Lajoie looking to get his hands free. A couple of rights from Lajoie. Holy, an uppercut from Jet. Kosarev hasn't thrown a punch yet. Now Lajoie is going to throw some more shots toward Kosarev. Some body shots from Jet. Still throwing punches as they break it up. And then we'll get the crowd fired up here at the CN Center.
The stick of Cumby, who races back to get it inside the Seattle zone. Quickly out to center for Holberton. The gloves drop behind the play. Andre and Mays. Mays' helmet gets popped off. He swings widely overhand, and linesman will jump between those two players and pull them off each other. Cumby left it on the near wall. Below the goal line, Giroux helping him out. Kuzma trying to drag that puck from behind the goal. Squirts free, and then Kuzma dropping the gloves with Rios. Throws Rios to the ice and falls on top of him, and the linesman will pull him apart with 18 seconds to go in the game.
Slide ahead, just missed Finnegan, but he jumps in on the forecheck. Eskin out to get it, and Finnegan runs him over, and the arms stay down. Finnegan fully ran over, and we got a fight. Finnegan is going to fight Seth Fryer. Here we go. At neutral ice, and here we go. Jack Finnegan, no strainer to drop in the gloves. Finnegan now tied up here with Fryer. Fryer 6'7". It's a bit less for Finnegan. Finnegan a right on Fryer. Now they tie up, and now Finnegan gonna wrestle Fryer to the ice. And they'll sit in the box.
Center for Johnson, off his boot and into the Tigers zone. On it right away is Moss with a flip pass back to center. And on the far side, Johnson's into a scrap in front of the Wheat King bench. Johnson's got the jersey up now. He lands one hard on Steen. Steen trying to hold him off. He's got that right arm cocked. Johnson lands one. Steen comes underneath. Now he lands a couple of big uppercuts and takes Johnson down with 12:41 to go in the second period. That developed behind the play. And next thing you knew, two big bodies were swinging away.
For it. It'll be icing, and we're going to have a scrap at center ice. Brown against Schaefer. Schaefer grapples. Brown trying to come underneath with an uppercut. Schaefer is wrestled down to the ice.
God had the right face-off circle, and he worked it wide on a bit of a broken play. And the puck came back out of the center ice area. Remember Three is Company? Remember that show? Oh, we got a fight back inside the Spokane zone. Nate Corbet is going to go at it here with Gavin Burkar. They're going to take it now right at the blue line. Nate Corbet, this is his 6th fighting major of the season. Big rights by Corbet. Burkar, whoa! Corbet some lefts, another right. Burkar is down. And that's as dominant of a tilt as we've seen from Nate Corbet since he arrived in Kelowna from the Medicine Hat Tigers.
Trying to finagle up the left side. He's held up by a man and fielded by, on the near side wall, Eli Barrett. Rink wide, we're going to have the gloves drop. Jackson Vaughn and Nate Corbet are going to go. Vaughn comes over the top. Corbet lands a couple of big rights on the hook. Vaughn trying to get that right arm free. Corbet coming underneath with an uppercut. Vaughn entangling, trying to slow down the onslaught of punches from Corbet. And Vaughn lowering his center of gravity. Corbet is going to hand him a couple of rights. Vaughn gets his left free, clips him. Long bout here for Vaughn. Corbet keeps swinging. Nate Corbet, the most experienced fighter in the Western Hockey League. And finally, they will stop.
And will fire it into the near side corner. Chased there by Gustafsson. He pins it up against the near side wall. Battle ensues up to the blue line. Big blast by Southern. And that's a hefty block for Creelan, who was wincing over, getting all of that one. Back to the near side wall, Southern. And now some shoves being thrown in a fight. Gustafsson ties up and starts feeding Boston Tate along the near side wall. Gustafsson starts hammering Tate right in front of the tunnel. And a fight that's over as quickly as it started, as these two need 2 officials to be separated, but Gustafsson certainly getting the upper hand on that one.
We'll get the primary assist as the puck shot down the ice by the Pats. Back to Schlenker. Now the gloves are going to drop as Mays is getting into it with Deschamps at the Regina blue line. And a wrestling match will end up with Deschamps on top of Mays.
In the mix, curls back near boards. They dropped it off as Evans Chen. We got a fight here way behind the plate. Nathan Brown and Carson Olsen. So the Blazers trying to get something going, and now he's going to scrap it up. Nathan Brown and Olsen throwing right hands over the top. This is way behind the play. Uppercut Olsen. Olsen sliding some off the top now. Oh, they trade in there. Whoa. And Olsen caught him with one. Caught him with another, and they go down the ice.
For the Wheat Kings, Pantelis will back up into the right side corner, and that should do it for this first period as the Raiders take a 2-0 lead. Oh wait, Leesman and Cheney are getting into it a little bit here. Still pushing and shoving. Payne and Heisey are in after each other. Barrett and Bethal have each other picked as well. Looks like Heisey and Payne were getting into it. Heisey has the gloves off, so does Payne. We got a couple of tilts on the ice here as Heisey and Payne are still chucking knucks at each other. Barrett also has a man on top of him. I think that's Rob Bethal still.
Yeah, and this all started with some late antics here by, I believe it was Gleason.
Harvey takes a hard hit, and the Wheat Kings are going to go to the penalty kill again. Carter Klippenstein, the guilty party for charging. He doesn't like this one, and it looks like he's going to bring Ethan Bevo with him as Bevo steps in, and Bevo needs a couple of hard shots there. Both men drop their gloves, though. Carter Klippenstein, that'll send him to the box for at least 7 now.
Yeah, Carter Klippenstein was just looking for anybody, and unfortunately happened to be Ethan Bevo.
Face-off, Cougars do collect. Here's Aiden Foster. We have a fight. Here we go. Jack Finnegan and Lesiak. Here we go at center ice. Jack Finnegan, no stranger to drop in the mitts. Lethbridge looking for a spark to get back into this game. And here we go. Jack Finnegan trying to get his right hand free. He does a big left. Another left from Finnegan. Lesiak trying to get his footing back. Now he throws some right at Finnegan. Now they wrestle. It's some more rights from Jack Finnegan. And him and the Lethbridge Hurricane fall to the ice. Good tilt on both ends.
That was real good tilt. I think the guys have a lot of respect for each other.
From the left wing boards, trying to get that puck against Peterson's pressure off the Dashers. It comes free, and Perreault will get it to center ice. Behind the play, Holberton and Peterson have grabbed each other. They're going to square off. The gloves have been dropped. Holberton got that left hand going. Peterson jumping back in with a right himself. These two going at it. There goes Peterson's helmet. And Holberton turns him around, and that gets the officials to jump and separate the two players. Pretty.
The first chance. Winterhawks get it, and they'll dump it all the way down the ice. Now we get a fight here. Paulentine and Southern of all people. And they'll take it right to the blue line. Rights from Paulentine. Southern tries to get the right free. Took a left there. And then tries to tackle Paulentine. And that is Tomasz Paulentine's first fight in the WHL. By Stebetek. Picked up by Papanicus. Right point again for Nate Corbeil. Corbeil shoots. Deflected by Ginla high wide. And now, do we get a fight? We do. Ginla is going to go at it here. High slot area with Kyle McDonough. And McDonough tries to throw it right. Ginla's on top of him. And that's going to do it for that fight between those two. Nate Corbeil. Whoa. Now we got Papanicus grabbing a hold of Winterhawk. And now we've got a couple of fights that may break out here. Papanicus has a hold of somebody. Now we got a fight at the right face-off circle. And is that Carson Wex that's out there? It's actually Daniel Pakash that throws down a man. And so we've got a Donnybrook here that occurred inside the Portland zone. Several fights kind of erupting simultaneously, and that's not good news because those secondary fights results in ejection. The fans like the emotion, but you got to be careful because you can lose a guy for the remainder of the game, and there's a lot yet to be played here with 2:43 remaining in period number 1. Nobody knows the rules better than Nate Corbeil. Corbeil did not drop his gloves on the play. I mean, he was on the ice surface, and he would have loved to get involved or get involved in the physicality.
The Warriors come back out of the neutral zone. Williams on the left wing couldn't hold on to that puck. He had Pantelakis take a run at him, but it was Pantelakis that got the worst of it. And behind the play, Wilkie and Williams dropping the gloves. Williams lands a nice right hand. Wilkie misses with a right, then Williams sends him down. A stiff right to the jaw. And the 16-year-old ignites the fans.
You love to beat each other.
Face-off won by the Cougars as it comes now up the right wing. Cougars trying to work it out of their own zone here. Puck loose inside the Prince George zone. We have a fight. Corbin Vaughn is going to go here with Brady Craig. They've been talking in the first period, and now they're going to go. This is Corbin's first fight here of the regular season. They're eyeing each other up, and it looks like they're ready to go. Corbin Vaughn and Craig, here we go. They tie up. Craig misses with a couple of rights, and Vaughn, 2 big rights, 3 big rights for Corbin Vaughn. Craig hasn't got a punch away. Vaughn holding, waiting. Craig hasn't hit him. A right for Vaughn. Now Craig hits Vaughn. Good fight between two tough customers. Vaughn with some defense in this fight. Now he's got a big left on Craig. And now they still tie up. Craig a right, and now him and Vaughn a huge right, and then they wrestle each other to the ice. What a tilt from Corbin Vaughn and Brady Craig.
Hitmen win the draw at their own line. Lodwick on the forecheck, touches it offside as Newton's a heavy check on Wilkie. We're going to have a scrum first time tonight. Everyone's grabbing a partner on the far boards. We are going to have penalties coming out of this as Väisänen drops the mitts with Bobby Williams. They're going to go. Väisänen, the Finnish defenseman, squaring off with Williams, the native of Texas, as they just kind of have a hold of each other and are trying to throw hands. Williams tries an uppercut, can't connect, as Väisänen holds that open arm of Williams, who comes over the top, pops the helmet off the head of Väisänen, and now puts him in a headlock and takes him down to the ice.
Forced out of there by Folstrom. Shetler shoots it back in, but right to Hayden, who brings it up to the red line, and now we're going to get the gloves dropped. Pankratz and Hughes are going to go at it. Hughes delivers the first punch. Pankratz overswings, and now Hughes connects with a right. Pankratz Pancratz now wrestles Hughes down to the ice.
Disentangled. There's no penalties. Brown's in on the rush. A shot, a toe save made by Miller. Into the near side corner it will go. What a wacky sequence as now Smith is going to charge after Sexsmith, and they're going to drop the gloves. Sexsmith comes over the top and clips Smith with a right. Smith trying to get his hands free. He'll land an uppercut. Sexsmith will wrestle him down. Aiden Sexsmith, 5'11", 153.
On the drifting screen from Renzi Newman. And a big hit in. That's a penalty coming to Hayden Moore, and that's going to draw a crowd. And Hayden Moore is going to go in a tussle with Ty Riley, who's going to chuck the fist as he was not a fan and gets Moore good on a good right-hander. Moore trying to fight back with the left as his right hand's tied up. Gets a couple of rights, Hayden Moore, but Ty Riley in a fury gets a couple of more shots. Referee's not able to jump in as it's going to be thrown down. Hayden Moore pinned to the ice by Ty Riley. Wow. And physicality getting out of hand as Ty Riley goes to the defense of his teammate.
Side out towards center ice, hopping around a defender with Sopiars. He didn't have the puck though, and the Wild bring it through neutral. Stopped up at the blue line. Saab twirls it in. Sopiars dumps Saab off his feet. It's late. They're going. Tate stepping up. Sopiars missing on a swing is Tate. Sopiars gets the arm around, takes Tate down. It was late, it was dangerous, and Tate said no.
V's quickly try to extend another pass up the ice here. Left wing side, right at the Blazer blue line. Bodies bumping and battling here. We got Rude getting the gloves up with Alstad. Are they going to go? And they're going to go here. Alstad, now he drops the gloves. Rude misses with a wild right, then connects with one, connects with another one. Alstad's in trouble here. Rude is teeing off here. Jersey gets over the head, and that's going to do it for that scrap. Now just throws that puck into the near corner. Logan Lanty will give chase. Lanty, hard bump into the corner, and now Timchak comes over and wants to scrap here. He better be careful. Can't be the one-man fight. And now they're trading in the corner. Right hands over the top. Timchak trying to get at it. So is Tastad. They're throwing pretty good in here. Ducking over each other. Timchak dodging and throwing. They're still going. Linesmen are going to get into it here now. Tastad had to answer the bell.
Cino go behind his net, tried to drive it up the right wall. Howe makes a check now. Bam! There's a big hit from Matches Man. And Man looks like he's going to go. They're going to drop the gloves. Matches Man dropping them with Riley Steen as they lock up. And they both get a couple rights away. Now Man throws some lefts. Doesn't need much space to get good shots away as he drops them with the left, spins the helmet.
Pass ahead for Gillespie, and he takes a shot there from Pancratz. And Shetler having the words with him, and now they're going to drop the gloves. Good on Shotzi. Pancratz, that was a cheap shot from behind, which of course wasn't called. And Shetler takes a big right and knocks Pancratz down. And the fans react to it.
Handling out of his own zone, flipping it past Regal deep in the far corner in the Giants' end. Good hit from Regal, leaning on Schaefer. Dominic Kelly out of his own zone for Areskovic with pace. In on the left wing, we're going to get a fight. Braden Regal, his first career WHL fight. He's dropping the mitts with Clark Schaefer as they hold on to one another. Regal trying to get his right hand free, and a couple good uppercuts. Schaefer responds. Regal still, a couple 2-3 right-handers. Now Schaefer gets his right free. What a tilt at center ice. They're exchanging blows. Regal and Schaefer still going at it. Schaefer trying to get that right free, and the linesman will break it up.
Tremendous save made by Eric Tu. Bottom of his left skate, turns that one aside. And now a check delivered that has drawn a crowd, and we got a injured hitman on the ice as Hunter Ora gonna go into a scrap here with Mazura. Mazura trying to get loose. Ora trying to do the same. They're in close quarters. Ora now in a headlock, and he and Mazura go to the ice.
They come to center. Lean Pete Paulantine. He tried to hit Varga right at the Cougar line. Knocked away by Carrolls against the near sideboard. He'll send to Foster on left wing, and time will expire in period number 1. Flare up now to fight. Vaughn and Papanicus. Rights by Papanicus. Tries to grab a hold of Vaughn, who didn't get any punches on that quick developing tilt between those two. Remains in the corner. Rockets defending. Came to the blue line. It's not kicked in. Went past Carrolls, and the puck comes all the way down the ice. Sticks get high here to fight. Neutral zone. It's going to be Dawson Garwick and Finnegan, I think, are going to fight here. Right at center. They grab a hold. Garwick tries to get a right free. Can't. Now he tries to throw Rod over the top. And a right on Finnegan, knocking him down. And so that erupted quickly. It looked like the Cougar forward was complying.
Condro has only faced 14 shots tonight. He stopped 13 of them. 13 straight for Condro in the save department after giving up a goal on the first shot. As a fight here brewing. Jake Masura and Gavin Lesiak. Lesiak trying to get a hold. He has the size advantage. A big right by Lesiak. Masura over top with rights. Lesiak trying to get the uppercut to go. Now lefts by Lesiak on a switch. Now they tie each other up. And the linesmen step in. To advance the puck, it comes all the way back into the Rebel zone for Yellowwagon. Sent in deep, Cleaver out of the net. Will shoot it around the far side, and we're going to have another fight here. Landon McSwain and Lucas Lima. That's center ice. Right by McSwain. Right by Lima. McSwain trying to come over top. Lima, quick jab. Now gets some rights free. Lima starting to fire. Still firing rights is Lucas Lima. Now turns to lefts. McSwain gets taken to the ice.
Well, there's some speed that the Rebels possess with such big bodies on the ice.
Back is Will Scott in his own zone. 6 minutes to go. Braden Smith ahead on the right wing. Look out! Didomenic Antonio got drilled by DeWitt. And we're going to have another fight. DeWitt and Cousins. Cousins coming to the aid of his teammate. DeWitt with rights. Cousins taking a few. Oh, a big right by DeWitt. Cousins trying to answer back with one. Linesmen have to step in here. DeWitt still throwing rights. Cousins just trying to hang on. Get in there. Stop the fight. Step in.
Tigers zone. Tigers hold behind their own goal. Hager walks into a Raider. Turnover force. Penalty coming up on the play as Kyle Hager's getting jumped. He doesn't want to fight, but now finds himself fighting. And takes a man down immediately. That was a very... Oh, we got another scrum coming at center ice. Parr and Rudolph are engaged. Moore and Christensen engaged as Parr shoves down Rudolph to the ice. You've got Moore and Christensen grappling with one another. These guys don't want to drop their mitts, and they're ejected from the game. It'll be the second fight in the same stoppage as tensions boil over here in Medicine Hat. Over in front of their goal. Instead, they're able to navigate a pass to Connor Howe, who chips up ice for Sivertson. He'll enter the left side of the Tigers zone, puck in behind the goal of Switzer as Sivertson runs into Switzer, and the Tigers come to defend their netminder as Pickford tackles down Sivertson to the ice, and now Liam Ruck's getting grabbed by Hubert Clark, and Pickford and Sivertson are going to drop the gloves. Pickford, the captain, with a huge right on Sivertson, defending his netminder Switzer, and he knocks down Sivertson. As now in the corner, Liam Ruck getting jumped, and Marcus Ruck comes to defend his brother. Hubert Clark tackled down Liam Ruck to the ice. Marcus Ruck comes in. Liam Ruck back up, giving it to Clark. Frustration abound for the Prince Albert Raiders as a 17-2-4 club entering tonight. Perhaps getting humanized.
Quickly trying to get back on side and dump it back in as they change up. Didn't wait long enough. Now the gloves have been dropped at center ice. Looks like Polonchuk and Guest are going to square up in the neutral zone. And there they go, toe-to-toe. Polonchuk getting that left hand, trying to get it in free. Guest trying to get an uppercut in, an overhand right. They're in close, clinched, and the linesmen are going to pull them apart. This will not be icing. The race won by the Rockets as Gerwing got to it. He gets plowed into the wall, and now we got another battle going on as Murka gets tied up with Jason Carrig. I believe this would be the first fight in his Western Hockey League career for Radim Murka. He laid a big hit on the Rocket player, and then Carrig came in late and dropped the gloves with him.
Tigers, though, are on the attack. D-to-D, Steen left side, wrist shot, glove save made, and we got a duster here. Ness and McCann in the Moose Jaw zone. They come in tight. McCann missing with a right. Ness trying to work a little left jab, still holding on. Ness missing with a right. McCann misses with a right hand. McCann comes inside, trying to work a left. Really nothing landing right now. McCann's got Ness in a headlock. They'll wrestle down to the ice.
A couple noogies, that's about it.
Yeah, nothing big out of that, but...
That's not penalized either as it broke right in half. Now Orr to the boards, rammed in from behind. He is down and shaken at the Calgary bench. No call on that one. And now Axel Hurtig goes up the ice and will find a Raider, and he wants a piece of Kelly. Not sure if Kelly threw the hit, but Hurtig's gonna scrap him. Down goes Kelly to his knees. Bounces right back up. Down he goes a second time. Axel Hurtig fired up there. And Kelly takes the worst of it.
Yeah, unfortunate collision there for Aura going to the Calgary bench.
Into the attacking side, flip to the near side boards. Dominic Kelly fighting to keep this puck alive. Now a couple of shoves thrown. Now Miller's going to go at it, and we've got a fight here near side boards. It's Miller and Popple. Popple gets the headlock. Miller goes for the uppercut, and Miller starts feeding Popple with the right hand. Miller and Popple bring each other to the ice here at the Glass Palace. 6'1" and 180 for Popple.
Sticks that into the corner, and now Boehm out to center is run into by Boomer DeMars. And Boomer DeMars is going to drop the mitts. The 16-year-old gets a goal, and now he's going to scrap with Boehm on the far side in the V zone. And DeMars scores the takedown after throwing a punch. So his second goal in the WHL. And now Boomer DeMars with his first tilt in the WHL.
Tigers in jeopardy of being outshot for just the 5th time all year. I don't think they'll care because they lead 5-1. Heavy check from Steen at the blue line. Arm comes up, and Steen's going to drop the mitts with Chapos. We have a fight in the final 30 seconds. Chapos just wailing overhands at Steen. No one's hit on a punch yet. They're just punching air, but they're trying really hard. As Steen comes over with the right. Chapos counters. Now they're hitting. Chapos back on Steen. Steen back on Chapos. Steen fixes his visor. Is now throwing back over top of Chapos. An uppercut from Chapos. Steen now an uppercut and overhand right. Helmet pops off Steen. They're letting them go, and finally the linesman will step in after 15 seconds of punching air.
LaPlante to the right side wing. Goes down low for Hayden. Hayden, he feels some pressure though. Broncos playing ferociously right now. And now a delay penalty here against the Rockets. And now we got some physical contact, and Sawyer Dingman reacting. And now we got a whole heap of players piled up in the corner. Oh, and now we got hands being thrown. Kuryachenkov throwing down one of the Rockets. Oh, and now we got some more hands. Oh my goodness. And stepping in on that one is going to be Dawson Gerwing, throwing hands to Kuryachenkov. And the referee Now he steps in. We got chaos here at the Innovation Plex, and now the referee gets in there. Gerwing still throwing as the referee's in between.
Bring this face-off out to neutral territory. Lavoie wants Guest to go, and away they go. Two big, tough customers, Lavoie and Guest. Lavoie with a long reach. Takes a right from Guest right off the drop. Lavoie tries to answer, holding Guest off with the left jabs. Guest tries to come with lefts of his own. Lavoie lands a right. Lavoie switches to the lefts and lands one. Guest answers a right and knocks him down. And to the ice they go. Guest did not appreciate the way Lavoie was clearing the Wheat King crease.
That missed on the short side, glove side on Oaten. Petruk takes a hit from McAlone. Along the far boards, lifted high in the air and down the ice by the Canes. And now we've got a scrap, and it's going to be McAlone and Petruk. Petruk didn't like the fact that McAlone, now Petruk stands still in neutral ice and says, come on to me. McAlone sizing him up. 17-year-old Tristan Mitchell McAlone and 20-year-old Andrew Petruk come together in neutral ice. Petruk throwing rights, McAlone with a right to connect, and now another left that knocks down Petruk. He gets up and wants to keep going, but the linesmen have gotten in between. Tristan Mitchell McAlone with a couple of good shots on Andrew Petruk, and McAlone gesturing at the crowd that I got the better of you, kid. Luke Cousins. Cousins fires a shot, missed the net. That comes up the far boards and out to center to the line. And now we're going to have another scrap, and it's going to be Zach Olson and Gavin Lesiuk, and we had this one penciled in on the fight card a little earlier on, as they're in neutral ice. Zach Olson. Lesiuk says, you come towards me. Olson says, sure, and Lesiuk with a couple of right hands, and now they're each exchanging rights. Whoa. Olson and Lesiuk, and Olson caught Lesiuk a couple of times because he backed off a little bit. Now Olson with a left, and Lesiuk is hanging on right now. The helmet comes off of his head, and Olson still throwing. So is Lesiuk. We'll give him all kinds of props for hanging in there, and he'll wrestle Olson to the ice, but they'll roll over top of one another, and the linesman will get in.
Stick save into the far corner. Saab trying to clear it away or clear out the time. Down to two. Right hash mark. Back door. Vert can't get a shot. That'll do it. And the Wenatchee Wild hang on to pick up a 3-2 win. We've got an action down in the near corner. Everybody pile in and grab a dance partner. Saab throws off the gloves. LeBret with the gloves off as well. Saab reaching for LeBret. LeBret pushes him off his feet. Ellick in the near corner has a hold of somebody. Ellick.
And now getting to the front of the net, they have found themselves in front 4-3. No better example than the Katie McCann goal. We're going to have a fight here at center ice. Cam Parr taking on Brady Ness as they take center stage at Co-op Place. Big height discrepancy here. Parr at 5'9", Ness at 6'4" as they wail away at center ice. The newly minted Moose Jaw captain looking to make a statement, let his body shots go on Parr, who's trying to shake loose as they tie up. Parr with some overhand lefts, and Parr the takedown on Ness to the delight of the Co-op Place faithful.
Gorzinski will work at a center. Trevor's jammed up by Vluswick, and now we have a fight breaking out as Axel Hertig of the Calgary Hitmen has put his gloves on the ice along with Alexei Chichkin of the Red Deer Rebels. They'll go right to the Flaming Sea at center. The Dukes are up, and here comes the first scrap of the night. 32 seconds in, Chichkin and Hertig both throwing big right hands. Hertig uppercuts, Chichkin coming over the top. And they're starting to run out of gas. Chichkin loses his balance, hits the ice, bounces right back up. Linesman wanted to come in there, but the players say, no, we're not done yet. Chichkin and Hertig in a tireless scrap here in the neutral zone, Jeff. Now it's pulled apart.
Well, if you're counting punches, Chichkin probably had 4 times as many punches that Hertig threw.
Rebels coming the other way now. Feuder over the line. Net front pass for Copeland doesn't work. Copeland topples over to 2, lays on top of him. Play continues. How's there no whistle here? And now Macbeth is being double teamed by 2 Rebels behind the net. 2 comes in there, the goaltender. Pasarchuk flies in and says, oh, no, you don't. And now Feuder starts punching him in the back of the head. Pisarchuk trying to get right. And he can't get upwards. Feuder is just giving it to him.
A little too lazy, or a little too relaxed with it, I think, but it comes out ahead left wing. Lemire trying to work it in, but Gurm takes it. We have a fight. Here we go. Aiden Foster and Carson Olsen. They've been exchanging words here in this period, and here we go at center ice. Aiden Foster, both swing and miss. Olsen trying to get it right. Foster has Olsen, I think, where he wants him. It's a big right from Foster. Olsen still hasn't landed a shot yet. Foster, another big right. Foster swinging for the fences here as he takes the helmet off of Olsen. Foster, a righty misses. Olsen misses. And a big right from Foster. And then Olsen and Foster both fall to the ice. Big fight here late in the second.
Yeah. Center by Barrett. Hands it off to Shane Smith. Into the slot. He is smoked by Connor Bear. And that gets the fans on their feet. And here we go. We got a fight. Benson drops the balls to Bear, and he absolutely gets on top of him and starts laying rights. Connor Bear gets the crowd on their feet.
Intercepted by Wilkie for the Broncos. He'll skate to center. Bryzgalov runs over Wilkie, gives him a shout, then gets knocked down by Rondo. They're gonna go. Rondo and Bryzgalov drop the mitts. Bryzgalov with a left, now chucking him away at Rondo, who's beginning to shell up. He's not happy with what he started, and he'll fall to the ice as Bryzgalov gives Rondo a battering after laying down Wilkie at center ice. Work left side for Tyson Moss. He'll work it up ice for Cameron Parr. And we're going to have another fight. Sawyer Dingman and Carter Cunningham squaring off just inside the blue line of the Broncos zone. Cunningham with an overhand right. Dingman with an overhand right. Cunningham fixes his helmet amidst the scrap now with a couple nice jabs on Dingman. Overhand lefts. Dingman counters with a right. A right from Cunningham. A right from Dingman as they entangle. Cunningham with a left. Dingman tries to counter, misses on an overhand right. They're letting him go. Huge right from Cunningham, pops the helmet off Dingman. Dingman back with a right. Cunningham wailing away on Dingman as he'll take Dingman down as the linesmen step in. 6:01 gone in the third. Second fight of the frame.
Shot well wide past the blocker of Cruz Chase, and that will be a tripping minor against Penticton. And now we're going to have two guys go. Southern drops the mitts on the near side with Wayman. Southern connects with a right. Now gets a scruff of the neck of Wayman. Southern starts getting him with the jab. Wayman connects on an uppercut. They lock heads, exchange rights. Wayman gets Southern on the side of the head. Southern gets Wayman on the back. Southern still standing despite Wayman's best efforts. Southern still feeding the jab. Wayman looking for space. Southern connects on another right. Wayman goes up and over. Southern gets Wayman on the chin. Gets him on the jab again, right on the nose. Wayman and Southern are dragged to the ice by each other after a couple of heavy blows with 7:21 remaining in the third period. Jerry Camus, and now another fight. It's Wilfley in between the circles against Norrie, and those two down on the ice in a hurry. Wilfley's been given a couple of shoves all night. Norrie's always been there to answer him.
Puck stolen away from him. McKinnon out battling with Torrey as Torrey one-hands the puck down low. Torrey and McKinnon wrap up in behind the Tri-City net. Americans chip the puck ahead. Here's McKinnon on right wing. He took a hard, heavy hit from Torrey as they were going at it earlier. And now Torrey and Abagosh are going to drop the gloves here. Torrey with some early rights. Abagosh with a heavy right hand. Big right hands on Torrey, somehow staying on his feet as they both go down. Back up and trying to continue exchanging blows here. Ismail Abagosh getting the crowd fired up. To go in the game. Americans looking to add to their lead here, maybe put the game away. Wenatchee trying to race their way the other way through center. Now we got a fight. Cash Cook dropping the gloves with Chapoche. They both fall over as Chapoche stumbled over backwards. Cash Cook ran over Josh Toll in the Wenatchee zone. Sends it deep. First one in on the forecheck for Wenatchee is Zane Torrey. He's tied up. Jake Goodell is in there as well. 6:10 to go in regulation. 3 Americans trying to fish it loose. Wenatchee gets it. Fluker fanned on his centering pass. Now it comes up to the blue line, and we got another fight here. Jackson Adam chasing after Torrey. Big-time size mismatch here. Torrey, a big right hand, which he missed with, and then he stumbled over backwards. Jackson Adam, in his 100th career Western Hockey League game, will get 2/3 of the Gordie Howe hat trick.
Up the far boards. That doesn't get by the Raider Heisey along the far wall. Now
here we go. We got a fight.
We're going to have the 2 captains, Tyler Parr and Justice Christensen, dropping the mitts in the neutral zone. Parr in his 250th game tries to get a right going. Christensen holding on, now tries a right himself. Still going. Parr with a right that missed. Christensen a right that misses. Parr with another right. Again, no real damage done. Now Christensen with a right. And may have gotten that one through. He gets a couple of more in. Tyler Parr and Justice Christensen. Oh, Parr with a short right that connects. They continue to go. Now Christensen gets his left free. Parr manages to grab back on, and now finally they'll be stopped by the linesman.
By Sam Spihar. Prevents that redirection look from ever getting to Cruz Chase, and now a penalty here coming up against Penticton. As Miller gets involved with a couple of V's. In comes Free joining the fray right on top of the red line. And we're going to see a couple of penalties come out of this as Sam Spihar is still slow to get up. And now haymakers being thrown as Free ties up with Sean Burek. And now they're going to go. Free and Burek at the blue line. Burek connects on a left hook. Free ties him up, and Burek and Free hit the deck hard. Burek, 6'8".
Jamming in there for it as well is not Shea Bush. We'll get a whistle and a fight at center. Vaughn and Osborne duking it out. Vaughn over the top. Vaughn gets a couple rights in, takes a couple left-handed swings against the collar, and now come the rights from Osborne. The helmet comes off. Both helmets are off. Vaughn swinging away, got a couple of right-hand connections. Got another uppercut, and one over the top, gets around the collar and takes Osborne down. But that gets the crowd into the action halfway through.
Tap the puck in. Maloney back on his backhand, sends it up the wall. Petruk hustles. Peterson got a piece of Petruk. And now a puck to center. Petruk and Peterson push and shove, and they're going to go at the blue line. Rights over top by Petruk, and Peterson goes down. Peterson
broken up by Seattle, kept at the line. Dumped down the right side boards by Osborne. And a big hit behind the net again gets the crowds oohing and awing as Torrey. One time Tibor Prostovic took the worst of that one, and again we got gloves dropped behind the play. Popple squaring off with Grady Wedman. 7:15 to go here in this scoreless first period. And Popple trying to get that left hand in. Almost unbalanced himself, stays on his skates, and then he takes Wedman right down to the ice. No punches thrown. Is Hartman. He comes out of the box. We are back to 5-on-5 hockey. Brought into the zone, left wing Dunn drives the net from his backhand, flips it on goal with one hand on his stick. And behind the play, the gloves have been dropped again. Polonchuk and Chaudry will square off at center ice. What a play though by Dunn, with a defender draped all over him. Only one hand in his stick, was able to still flip it on goal. Again, a lot of tugging by the two players. Overhand rights by both. They're kind of going back and forth. I don't know they're making much contact. And now Chaudry goes down to his knees, and the linesman will separate them.
Back on the attack. Floating shot from the blue line, swallowed up by Bonini. 2.5 minutes into our Cask 82 Adelaide table first period, and we got a tilt as Dagenstein is going to drop the gloves with Guest. They'll come together inside the Rocket zone, sizing each other up right now. They'll come in tight, holding onto the jerseys. Nothing really chucking right now. Guest trying to work some left jabs. Dagenstein pops with the right, trying to get that helmet off. Dagenstein helmet popped off right now. Guest missing over top on the right, and now they'll go down awkwardly. Able to move that puck up the ice and across the Moose Jaw boards. Brady Ness finishing his check. Physical, you just talked about it. Now it's business is picking up, is what they say. Here's Cohen Williams dangling in, and behind the play, Ness is going to drop the gloves with Carson Wetch right at center ice. They'll size each other up. Wetch goes in with the right hand, may have just missed. Now Brady Ness tossing some bombs. Wetch with an uppercut, another uppercut. Ness with a stiff right hand. Wetch working another uppercut. Ness working some body shots now, and I think that is it. Oh, that's a pretty good tilt right there.
Down behind the net it goes. Andre is wrapped up from behind by Rudolph. Play it back and on along the near side wall. Chasko halted on the half wall. Scooped by Lipinski, who seeks refuge behind his net. We're going to get a gloves drop. Hunter Rudolph is going to drop the gloves with Alexander Andre. Rudolph comes over the top. He connects with a right. Lands another big right. Gets the jersey tuck on top. And the officiating crew will step in, but Hunter Rudolph throwing some haymakers in his first WHL fight.
Travis Chesson got spun around. Blazers in their own zone. Ravindal, he got hit. And a little bit slow in getting up. And then Ryan Michael comes over. He's going to have a go here. Ryan Michael got the gloves up and then kind of slipped and went down. I think he stepped on a glove. Cash Cook was the one he was scrapping with.
Johnson made it 2-1 Brandon, and just moments ago, Kyle Hager, penalty coming up here on Maxime Lavoie as Noah Davidson dropping the mitts with Maxime Lavoie coming the defense of Liam Ruck. Lavoie with an overhand right on Davidson. He goes back over the top as Lavoie starts trying to hammer away on Davidson. Davidson maintains his balance here inside the Brandon zone. Big overhand right on Lavoie, who wraps up Davidson, and the linesmen step in to separate the two. And Noah Davidson with a goal already tonight.
He swipes at it, but it bounces back to Nolan Stevenson. Burke now banks it ahead. A huge hit at center ice, and now Burke and Vaughn are going to scrap. Sean Burke, second fight in as many nights, and he's going against a tough customer. He gets over the top with a right. Burke swinging away at Vaughn. He hits him in the side of the head. A couple more as he gets that right free. Burke landing a few on Vaughn, who hasn't thrown a punch. Burke still swinging away. Now Vaughn answers with some lefts. Burke tucks him and tries to get a few more away. Vaughn coming over the top with rights as they switch and go to the ice. And a spirited scrap there as Vaughn pushing Burke's head into the ice.
Current Cossack now to center ice. Broncos. Darby stood up by Hurtig, dumps the puck in, and now Darby drops the gloves and says, let's dance. Axel Hurtig says, okay. So here we go. Hudson Darby and Axel Hurtig put the gloves up. Two 20-year-olds staring each other down. No punches yet, just staring each other down. They're captains of their respective teams. Hurtig, 1, 2, 3. Merry Christmas, Darby, as he's punching in on the Bronco captain, and down he goes. They'll bounce back up, but Axel Hurtig handing out holiday greetings.
Behind their own net, Gurham. Up the left boards, coming to center ice. Good hit there by Loveson. They're going to call a penalty on Simon Loveson. For what, I'm not sure. It looked like shoulder was the first point of contact. Now Loveson and Ravindal have dropped the gloves. See if we get a look at the replay on that penalty being called to Simon Loveson for the hit along the boards to the left of the Blazer net. Loveson's helmet goes off. Ravindal trying to get his hand free. Neither can get arms free. They're kind of clutched together. Loveson with an underhand. Now Ravindal with overhand. Another underhand attempt by Loveson. Blocks an overhand by Ravindal. And they both go to the ice. 30 seconds left here in this first period, and the Blazers
Dumps it in. Americans chasing after in their own zone. Jackson Adam uses that long reach of his. He's wrapped up in the near side corner and a heavy hit from behind. Penalty coming up here to Grady Martin, and now he's going to have to answer the bell as well as willfully drops the gloves with Grady Martin, trying to get themselves loose to get the hands free. Martin waiting willfully with some right hands. Martin trying to get his right hand free, and now Martin pushes willfully into the boards. Couple of last left-handed jabs by willfully as they will break up. Grady Martinson run into. Ellick is there too. Martinson's got the puck now. Winterhawks aggressive on the forecheck, and they get the puck. They'll send it on goal. Stop by Wendt, and the rebound is chopped wide. And now Savage is going to drop the gloves here. You don't see this very often, but he's squaring off with Reed Brown. Savage grabbing onto the shirt of Brown. Right hand by Brown. Savage gets his right hand free and starts swinging. Both guys trying to get some right hands in. Savage with the uppercut and a big right hand knocks him down. Carter Savage gets the crowd on their feet again.
And the puck drops. Broncos tied it up momentarily, but the Raiders get it and a big hit into the boards, and that's going to be a delayed penalty against the Broncos. And now we got a fight here. It's Olescu going against Lyndon Barrett. And they tie up real quick. Olescu, they break off. Both exchanging now. Here's Olescu with some overhand rights. They tangle up again, trying to take each other down. There goes a helmet. And a quick but intense one. And Olescu ends up on top. And him and Lyndon Barrett.
Near wing out of the reach of Olsen. Puck into the Pats end. Hamilton gets shoved to the ice, crashes into the corner boards. Mathis Paul wants after Olsen as Hamilton is down. Botel is in there. We've got Paul and Olsen have dropped the mitts. In behind the net, Zach Moore wrestling Botel to the ice.
Nagel moves right wall, far shot. It's into the chest of Krause. He holds on. Warriors already a 3-0 advantage on the Makar shot clock, and Nagel's dropping the gloves with Boehm on the Brandon end boards. Nagel trying to get those right hands in. Boehm missing over the top of the right. Here they go, chucking again. Nagel with the right hand. Boehm with the right. There's still a going as they wrestle down to the ice. 2:20 in. Shake it off. The Christmas dinner already. Gage Nagel toe-to-toe.
Almost 5,900 strong, and likely a big 50-50 draw as well if you're in the building this evening. Somebody's going to come away from this game happy as we get pushing and shoving here. Chorney and Owen Hayden. Chorney will throw rights here on Hayden. Owen Hayden grabs a hold at Chorney. Owen Hayden tries to throw right of his zone. That's his first fight, I think, in the WHL here for Owen Hayden. And so again, there's pushing and shoving at the left face-off circle. I'm not sure about Chorney's fight card.
Brandon will skate it out. Klippenstein trying to dump it in. It goes off a Warrior. Grabbed by Jordan Gavin. A little 2-on-2, but behind the play, Semmeluk and Klippenstein dropping the gloves. Semmeluk chucking some rights pretty good. Klippenstein just holding on right now. Semmeluk working some left jabs. Klippenstein misses over the top of the right. Semmeluk has it pinned along the glass. Oh, Semmeluk pops two good right hands. This is a good tilt by Semmeluk as the linesmen get in. You don't see that a lot from Ethan Semmeluk.
On his backhand, offside against Tri-City as Goodell tried to pull the puck to his backhand and got bumped as he did so. Now Charlie Elliott comes in to get the hands up on Sam Spihar, who was trying to get a piece of Cruz Paveo. That's going to draw all 10 players into the pile here. Referee's got his hands pointed at two guys here. I believe it's going to be Southern and Ellick. The number one defenseman for both teams is going to go to the box with 58.7 seconds left in the period. And now we're going to have a scrap over on the other side. Cruz Paveo and Nathan Free. Paveo with the big takedown as he throws Free backwards. The physicality carrying over from last night into the Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
Of Lang, now to the far side circle, tied up by Slobodian. Duguay slow to get up, centering feed, another chance up front, save made by Chase, and a fight below the goal line of the Winterhawks. It's Miller, and it looks like he's got Martin as a dance partner. Martin trying to jab Miller with the left hand. Miller gets loose. He's pinned up against the end boards. Officials get the net out of the way. Martin connects on a right hook, as does Miller. Martin tries to feed the captain, and now Miller goes over the top. Miller and Martin both exchanging rights. Miller trying to connect a few on the temple. A big reach by Martin. Miller now connects right on the face of Martin. A haymaker by the captain. And Martin is just playing defense right now, and Miller will take that victory.
Here's Gray on the left side, waiting for his teammates to touch up. He'll dump it in. Comes around behind the net, and Heisey's there for it on the left wing. Play stopped. We got a fight. Ollie Chenier's going to drop the gloves here with Nathan Gray. The two throwing jabs. There's a couple of hard landing shots from Chenier. His helmet gets removed now as they both recalibrate. And there's one over the top. Chenier throwing a couple there. Not sure why they're landed. Now Chenier throwing some rabbit punches with the right hand as Gray tries to wrestle him down. Chenier's on the bottom of it, but boy, did he land the clean shots there.
Brought it up the left side by Egan. Egan comes up, and now we're dropping the gloves. It's Alescu and Nigel Bain. Here they go, slowly squaring up. They come in close, right at the center logo. Alescu makes a jump at him. They tie up a little bit, and now looks like Alescu's got his arm wrapped. Now they start exchanging. They're up close and personal. Still real tight. There's a couple upper hands. And now Alescu trying to exchange as well. Now Alescu's got loose. Still, Bain trying to go with the underhand. Still tied up. Now Alescu goes the overhand. Now they're pushing on each other's face. Off goes the helmet. Alescu still trying to break free as they're tied up. And Alescu gets taken down. But a worthy exchange here between the two. Nigel Bain and Jaden Olescu.
Up the left wing glass. Puck bounces to the neutral zone. Sopiars takes a hard hit right at the Medicine Hat bench, and Sopiar's slow to get up. McInnes comes in. He wants a piece of the Tigers player that hit him. That was Wu. Now we're going to get more penalties. Sopiar's back up on his feet. He's taking a face full from Pickford. All this happening right at the Medicine Hat bench. With 7:21 to go in the third period. Oh, and now Sopiars lands on top of the linesman as Pickford is on top of each of them. McInnes trying to pull Pickford off top of Sopiars. Meantime, the other officials all directing traffic. And now Wu trying to get some uppercuts in on McInnes. And McInnes is still on top of his man. Hard to see all of what's happening because it's right in front of the Tigers bench to our near side. McInnes, so now we're going to have a fight at center ice. Talon Brigley's had enough. He was standing off to the side with Cam Parr for a good minute or two, and they finally said, okay, since we're here, let's drop the mitts.
And then Parr gave him kind of a quick punch, so Brigley gave him one right back. And
yeah, Parr's getting a couple of rights in. Brigley's down to one knee. The linesman separates that. Meantime, Cunningham and McInnes were still exchanging pleasantries.
Penalty to Medicine Hat Tigers number 20, Cam Parr, and a Red Deer Rebels number 26, Talon Brigley. 5 minutes each for fighting and a game misconduct.
Well, now we're going to get even more penalties because every player on the ice is ready to drop their mitts deep in Red Deer territory. It was another big hit by a Medicine Hat player on a Red Deer Rebel, and the Tigers celebrated that one again, and then all 9, I guess, players. Oh, now Van Mulligan's trying to get some into the chin of Chichkin. Chichkin's starting to fire him back. Van Mulligan goes to the ice. Chichkin's not done with him, but the linesman gets in between them. Now Chichkin throws his helmet down the ice.
Could hear him calling for it. Pass was ahead, but Lima couldn't come up with it, and then he just drilled Zemlak. Gower wants to go. Lima obliges. Lucas Lima's had himself a pretty good night so far, and now he's going to scrap with Ryan Gower at center ice after a hard hit on Austin Zemlak. They engage. Lima with a right, trying to get an uppercut. Now comes over top with one. A big right by Gower. Lima stands in, trying to get his left free over top, and Lima tackles him to the ice.
Back inside the Toyota Center, 6.5 to go in the first period. Tri-City Americans trailing the Spokane Chiefs 1-0 here on New Year's Eve. Americans looking to break out of their own zone, and we got a fight. Grady Martin has dropped the gloves. He sends a big right hand, dropping the gloves with Chase Harrington. Couple of big customers tied up along the near side glass in the American zone. Harrington's helmet pops off. Martin with a right hand over the top, and they will tumble over on top of each other. That will get the crowd fired up here at the Toyota Center.
In. Nice little drag. Now step to the right. Brown centering pass is blocked in front. And now we got a fight. Look at this. Connor Baird dropping the gloves with Benson Hurst as they go toe-to-toe. And a huge right by Baird, but then Hurst comes over the top and starts giving him at least 3 or 4. Baird with his helmet loose is able to get the shoulder pad off. Comes over the top with a left. And there's the takedown in front of the Moose Jaw bench. Connor Baird trying to get the crowd into it.
And he abandoned him. He's still trying to play it with the broken stick, and the Wheat King bench is furious. 58 seconds to go in the penalty kill, and the crowd letting the refs hear it for that one as the Blades get it back behind their net. They will change the power play units. Back to center comes Doyle. Up the middle. Driving ahead wide to his right towards the Wheat King zone, trying to pull his way right in. Got straightened up by Boehm, and Filip Ruzicka will wait and fire this up ice himself. And then Klippenstein got hit away from the puck by Williams. Neither side really saw the other, I don't think. Wheat Kings want a penalty. They won't get one. And Williams and Brzezinski are into it now on the near side. And Matthews comes in to grab Brzezinski. Klippenstein comes in to grab Olsen, and everybody partners off. 2:35 to go in the third period. The Wheat Kings justifiably furious after a couple of missed calls that would have evened things up. Now Brzezinski's got Parr. Doyle's got Baumüller, and they want to go. Baumüller's got the gloves off. I don't think Doyle wants this. Now he sheds the mitts at last. Doyle tries a right. Baumüller a heavy uppercut. Baumüller comes over the top. He falls and pops back up. Baumüller landing rights on Doyle, who's in some trouble here. Meantime, another scrum has broken out. Baumüller is raining right uppercuts on Doyle. The ref's got to get in there, and at last he does. 2:35 to go in the third period.
Zone, Alescu back. Maloney there to take the puck, advanced up the right wing for Kai Anderson, and we're going to have a fight behind the play. And it's going to be Gavin Lesiak and Brennan Brown. A couple of big boys at center ice. Brown with rights, Lesiak trying to get free. Comes up from underneath with one. Brown counters. Lesiak another uppercut. Now a big right by Brown. Lesiak will get the takedown.
Now we get a fight back inside Blazer territory. Carson Wetch. Madden Timchak. Timchak and Wetch will try to scrap here. Wetch Rice. It looks like Timchak is a lefty, though, so be careful. Rice by Wetch over the top, and a one-sided tilt there. Timchak didn't even get a punch away.
Minor hockey, come in with your jersey, your apparel. Gets it up to Gaucher. Gaucher finds Wilkie. Puck gets knocked back, though, but Wilkie chases it down, and now we got a fight here in the neutral zone. It's Lafreniere and Gray. They drop it. Gray comes right at him. They lock up. There's a shot by Gray. Misses. They exchange a few. Now a few back and forth. Another right by Gray. An overhand, an underhand. Now they get up close. They're still exchanging. Now a right to the side by Gray. He gets in with another one. Now the jersey's starting to come off. Helmet's still on. And now they get up close. An underhand by Gray with the uppercut. They exchange. There's a right. And now Lafreniere goes down. And Nate Gray with some kind words after the fight.
Line all the way back into the Brandon end. Now we're going to have a scrap. Gleesman and Isaac Pohl, two big boys, have dropped the mitts at center ice. Isaac Pohl and Gunnar Gleesman. Gleesman tries to throw right. Pohl does, and I think he connected. Now Gleesman might have raked across the eyes or across the helmet of Pohl. It kind of surprised him. Gleesman trying to grab the helmet off of Pohl, who's hanging in there. Now the linesman will get in between. Gleesman's trying to get the takedown desperately. It's not happening.
To go here in period one. Still a 1-0 Cougar lead as Lodwick a big collision with Riley Ash, and he is going to go to the penalty box for sure. And now he drops the gloves, and now we got to fight on the other side with Williams and Jack Finnegan. Finnegan throwing some rights here on Aura as he now will try to wrestle him to the ice, and he will, but That was a scary knee from Riley Ash, and we'll see what the penalty is. But I think it's going to be more than.
Cash down low, Cash behind the net. He and Kuzma battle. Mays has the puck for Seattle. Blue line off the bench. The Rock overskated the puck, kept it in, and just dumped it to the corner. Cash wrestling with one of the Rebels players, and we got a stoppage of play. And we're going to get penalties on both players, Cash and Kuzma, I believe. Teammates just 24 hours ago.
Caden Strader into the zone, cutting back to in front, and he gets run over. Does Caden Strader slow to get up, and Konju Goysick is going to drop the mitts there with Ty Riley, and they'll wrestle to the ice. Goysick was not happy as Caden Strader got rocked there by Ty Riley, the first rounder and young star for the Oil Kings. Had a goal, and their line continues to add points, and now a penalty coming to Edmonton here off a tripping, and now Tamu, who's going to have some words with Marcus Larocque, and a couple of big right hands from both guys, and a big right from Tamu. Larocque, a couple of lefts, and down to the ice they go. They're still swinging. Both linesmen in there to try and separate them.
And shoots, and it's tipped wide. Puck now picked up by Penticton Olsen. He's hit hard, and now we have a fight. Jet Lajoie throwing some hard rights here at Brooks DeMars, and now he wrestles him to the ice. Boy, what a hit from Jet Lajoie. Now Olsen and Foster in a wrestling match.
But they're doing a lot of the little things, and you can just see this is a very, very determined Prince George Cougar team.
We have a fight. Here we go. It looks like Cole Height dropping the gloves and throws some big rights at Norrie as no one really threw a punch. And now a left from Cole Height. Some more lefts to Norrie. Oh my goodness! And they wrestle to the ice. Both benches absolutely ecstatic as chip back to center. 3:45. Foster's looking right at Burke. Here we go.
Yeah, here we are.
Aiden Foster, Sean Burke, they've been going at it all night long, and now they're going to settle it with their fists. As here we go. Foster and Burke, two big customers. They tie up. Foster a good right on Burke. Burke landed 1-2. Uppercut from Foster. Burke trying to hold on to Foster and land a big right. His rights loose. Two big rights from both customers. And then Foster trying to work Burke to the ice, and he does. Good fight between Foster and Burke, two tough customers.
We're going to have a fight at center ice, and it's going to be a heavyweight bout between Andrew Patrouk and Ashton Cumbie. Patrouk and Cumbie standing and ready, and now they interlock. Oh, a big uppercut by Cumbie connected right away on Patrouk. Patrouk standing in. Tries to come over top. Cumbie gets a right in. Patrouk gets another uppercut. Now Cumbie over top with a right. Cumbie has the right arm of Patrouk held. Now Patrouk trying to get the left free. Cumbie another right. Patrouk a right. Now Cumbie fires a couple more. Patrouk still stands in. A left by Cumbie. Cumbie taken to the boards by Patrouk. Still coming over top is Ashton Cumbie. Patrouk trying to get free. Another uppercut by Cumbie. Now a left by Cumbie. And finally the linesman will step in. And that, my friends, is a heavyweight bout. And Ashton Cumbie connected with a few.
Broncos, and now we're dropping the gloves. It's Brock Birch going across from Ryan Gower. Here they go. They center up at the logo. Brock Birch goes right at him. A couple overhand rights. Gower exchanges right back. Gower tries to give him a little hip toss. And now some more exchanges. There's a shot by Gower, but one by Birch. And now Gower set turned a little bit. Both trying to take control. Arms extended, locked up on the jerseys. Who's going to get another one? There's one by Gower, and a good exchange. Birch gets him back. Now an underhand, now an overhand. Gower puts him in a headlock. Referees break it up. And what a great fight between these two young men.
Face off on the way in front of the Moose Jaw bench, and it belongs to the Warriors. Gloves drop, and they're hammering away. Nagel and Andre. Andre gets a couple of rights across. coming over the top. They both take a swing and both miss. Andre gets up over the top of Nagel and leans him down right off the face-off. The gloves came off, and they started hammering.
The glass up for Olsen, knocks it down. He's got Preston now. Tittleback, oh, he's hit hard as Alec came across, and I don't think there's going to be a penalty, but there will be a fight. Olsen stepping in after Tittleback was crushed by Alec, and Tittleback is getting up under his own power. Meanwhile, Olsen and Alec now hold on to one another. Alec trying to get his right free. Olsen trying to do the same as they're more holding on. An uppercut from Olsen is now Alec. They're kind of grappling onto one another. Not a lot of punches being thrown. And that will do it. Olsen stepping in for his teammate Adam Tittleback after a big, big collision.
Away with another stop. Fed back into the middle and stolen away on top of the crease by Ryan Miller. Miller's got Reed Brown 2-on-2 the other, and a fight behind the play. It's Jacobson and Smith. Jacobson connects on the right, gets another right. Jacobson with the right hook. Smith trying to tie him up, gets a couple of uppercuts. Smith gets going, and now we might have another one on the near side. Jacobson and Smith. Rock'em sock'em hockey here inside the Glass Palace.
This slow getting up as he'll head to the T-Bird bench. As now Parr gets taken at center ice. They're going to go. Braden Holberton squaring up with Cam Parr. Cam Parr, 5'9" from LaSalle. Holberton, 6'4" from Sparwood. Sparring off in the T-Bird zone as they grab a hold of one another. They're hugging. They continue to hug. This is a hug, not a fight. And now Parr with a right over the top. Still holding one another. Holberton fires back as Parr and Holberton teeing off, and Parr takes down Holberton. Gordon Carroll, one-timer shoulder save. Rebound comes to the left corner. Gordon Carroll checked hard off the puck by Dunn. Heavy check from Bryzgalov going after Dunn, as now Bryzgalov's going to get jumped. We got a line brawl here in Co-op Place. Bryzgalov with the hit on Dunn after Dunn hits Gordon Carroll, and we got a man down on the ice too. It's Coster Dunn, as everyone's got a hold of a man.
And Josh Van Mulligan on the back of Ashton Cumbie. That's a tough fella to try and contain after the jersey of Yaroslav Bryzgalov got ripped off. Meanwhile, Coster Dunn down on the ice, as is Noah Davidson with somebody seemingly.
As Bryzgalov and Cumbie now fighting through the linesmen. They want to go, linesmen don't want to let them. As now barreling away, they're going to let him go. Cumbie and Bryzgalov. Bryzgalov gearless like it's the 80s. Cumbie and Bryzgalov with a hold of one another, and now the linesman will step in.
Tyson Moss battling Ethan Bebo on this near side half wall. Watch this one, takedown from Tyson Moss.
Bryzgalov now without any of his upper equipment.
Out cleanly, cutting to the middle now to Preston. Into the Wenatchee zone as he is knocked down. That's a bad knee on knee. Tomic's gonna drop the gloves with Osborne. Oh, love to see that as Osborne and Tomic go down to the ice. That has to fire up the Giants bench, although it's very tough to see. Mathis Preston still is down on the ice. Pura, right circle, that's blocked. It'll dribble out. Lynn is gonna drop the mitts with Basson. They were tied up behind the play. Oh, that's gonna start a lot of rough stuff. Lynn fighting a 20-year-old Riley Basson. They're quickly broken up, and now the linesmen have to get in between other players. Morelli out there, Giroir. Oh, and Morelli is gonna drop the mitts with Ruhan. They're fighting right between the benches. Both of their helmets gone. Both trying to get rights free. Now a left for Morelli, and he gets the takedown. Hartman might go too. Fight night at LEC.
As the Warriors find it, and they will just skate it out towards center ice. Big collision there. Now look out. We got some stuff happening at the end of the game as David Byrne got pushed over from behind. Noah Degenstein going after anybody he can. Ismail Abagosh is letting the right hands fly in front of the Moose Jaw bench as he knocks his man down to the ice. and throws his gloves away to celebrate a 7-3 win.
Yeah. Schaefer now trying to get back on. It's picked off by Carson Carls. Carls takes a big hit from Schaefer, and then Anisimov runs over a Silvertip to defend his teammate. Schaefer trying to drop his gloves. Oh, and here we go at CN Center. Everyone has a dance partner right now on the ice. Anisimov throwing punches at Schaefer, and the Cougars trying to get some life back as Carls got targeted by Schaefer, and Anisimov takes exception immediately. The fight also is Lajoie into it. Foster now also into it. Some may say a little bit of a line brawl here at CN Center. 4 different fights going on here at Prince George. No one's touching Foster and Rudig, as gloves and sticks absolutely everywhere. Run into penalty coming to Everett as Vluswick interfered with Lemire. Now we got a fight. Aiden Foster and Clark Schaefer, as Schaefer throwing some punches before Foster was able to get ready, as they have been exchanging words this whole period.
Schaefer and Foster, the penalty minute leaders for both teams, have a little scrap behind at the Everett goal. Not much of a fight, but it was.
Johnson, puck into the Blades left wing corner. Doyle bodied by Johnson. Coming out of the penalty box, we're going to get a scrap. The 2 guys who are in the sin bin come out and decide we're going to have a goal. Nigel Bain for Brandon and Jordan Martin for the Blades. Center ice circle. They come together and they've got a good hold on each other. A couple of punches tried, but not much. Now Martin with rights, and he'll wrestle Bain to the ice a little bit, and then Martin loses the balance and falls face down first. Bain lands on top. They scramble back to their skates, and the linesman will get in between.
Kamas played to the near side. Chenier stumbled. Puck fired up the near boards and out to neutral territory. Another errant stick. Physicality picking up is DeWitt running around. Now Sopiars and Maloney. Oh, a big right by Sopiars and a quick takedown on Nathan Maloney. Sopiars a tough customer. And Maloney took a hard one, and that put him off balance.
McFadden over on the left wing. McFadden driven against the wall by Rudig and a nice play. Not really much that Liskey can do there. He's completely prone with no stick. Here's a centering feed for Thorpe over to his right for Schmidt. Drifting along the wall, and now we're going to get a scrap. And over to center ice, Cade Rudig and Landon McFadden. McFadden 5'11", 173. Rudig 5'11", 172. McFadden comes over the top. Rudig lands a big right. And now McFadden comes down on top of Rudig. Rudig took exception to the hit on Liskey in the neutral zone.
Attack. Dick comes back down, tags up. Caught on the far hash mark wall. Jodry knocking down Ben Miller. We get a tangle up on the far boards, and the gloves are off. 3 men are in there, and Tversek comes flying in. The gloves are off. Jodry hammering away on Miller. The play was going on at the other end. Miller and Jodry duking it out. Tversek coming blasting in. Rolsing is there. Sherbino with the gloves off. In comes Griffin Darby. Huge takedown on the blue line between Miller and Jodry. Couple of other players tangled up. Tversek coming flying in the middle of that one. Knocked down one of the Winterhawks players. Jodry headed for the Marson and Marson Wild penalty box. Linesman in between.
Worked it behind the goal, comes out right, but Dasher's chipped out to center ice. Kosick trying to use his speed. Taking out the pocket center ice. The gloves have been dropped behind the play. Ashton Cumbie. This is going to be a big boy tilt as he squares off with Brady Ness. Ness comes into the game with 104 penalty minutes. Cumbie surprisingly only has 53 because he doesn't get any takers, and he's got Ness in a very, very precarious spot here. The Ness helmet is off. Cumbie's got his right hand free, and he's starting to throw, and there goes Ness to the ice. He tries to spin Cumbie down with him, and they'll be pulled apart by the linesman and the referee. Shot block at the right post off the blacker by Skolnicha, chipped out, and a penalty as Loveson takes a high hit from Ness, and he gets jumped by Cumby right in front of the benches. And the T-Birds captain is down on the ice. Athletic trainer Tom Orr coming out to take a look at him. Ness and Cumby tangling at center ice, but the linesmen are between them. The concern now is the T-Birds captain, Simon Loveson. He's up on one knee.
And tell us right up the middle is behind the play. We got a scrap. It's going to be Boehm and Waltz. They were mixed up behind the Wheat King net. It's the second game in a row with a fight for Boehm, his 6th of the season. They lock up at the bottom of the Wheat King circle. Boehm with a reach advantage on Waltz. They're just holding on so far. Boehm tries a right. Swings and misses. Waltz a right. Boehm pops his helmet off. Swings and misses with a wild one. They're starting to wrestle now. The linesmen are trying to get in there. And they will break everybody apart with 13:27 to go in the second period. Neatly and carries ahead. Fryer on the far side takes the hit to make the play into the Wheat King zone. Ronald picks it up at the right circle, is behind the play. Gleesman and Fryer, two big boys, are into it, and they're going to drop the gloves. Not too many guys have a size advantage on Gunnar Gleesman. 6'7" Seth Fryer is one of the few guys anywhere who could claim it. They size one another up. An ultra heavyweight bout as they lock up. Gleesman a right, Fryer counters. Gleesman a heavy right coming over the top on Fryer. Fryer stays on his skates. Now an uppercut from Fryer. Gleesman swings and misses. Now Gleesman corks him with a right. He switches to the lefts. Fryer trying to hold him off with that long reach as Gleesman comes underneath. Fryer counters a right. Another right by Gleesman who gets him in a headlock, and down they go. Heavyweight bout doesn't begin to describe it. Those are the two biggest bodies on the ice. Midsection of Nelson. It comes to Newman, who chops it back out front. Lavoie roughs him up on the far side. Back to the point, picked off by Bethal as Newman and Lavoie are still into it in front of the Wheat King net. They want to go, and they will. We've got our third scrap of the night, and it's two more big, tough customers. Lavoie and Newman sizing one another up. Both guys old in this game. They latch on. Lavoie comes over the top. Newman shields himself well. Lavoie right, Newman again with a good block. Now Lavoie right, Newman's cocked and loaded. He lands one. Now an uppercut by Lavoie lands. Newman's got his helmet knocked off, and Lavoie takes him down. And Lavoie with a little pat on Newman.
Checked along the end wall by Ellis Miette. Big hit by Fawcett, forces a turnover. Zach Moore's shot is stopped. Rebound. And now we got to fight. Ellis Miette drops the gloves in the corner with McCarthy. Just his second game in the Western Hockey League. McCarthy and Ellis Miette exchanging rights in the far corner. Miette takes him into the far boards. Frustration boiling over. McCarthy loses his helmet, comes back with a left. Miette then just gives it on top of his head. McCarthy still staying in there. The referees want to get involved, but they can't. And now they'll break it up. And a pat on the back from both.
Picked up. Missouri comes right out of the penalty box and flattens his man. 2-on-1 Red Deer, 10 seconds left. Matej Mikes holds, toe drags, and it's a fight at center ice as Patrick tries to go after Jake Missouri. Missouri replies with a couple of rights. Patrick just jackhammering up the side of the helmet of Jake Missouri as Missouri came right out of the penalty box, laid a big hit just inside the Rebels' blue line. And as Red Deer was going down on a 2-on-1, Matej Mikes was right about to shoot, but the whistle stopped the play because Patrick and Missouri were fighting at center ice.
Harrison Benninger off the dry and skates, came loose, moved off the right wall, hit by Corbet. Now we get a fight. It's going to be Vaughn and Corbet. They're going to elect to dance here right at the Kelowna Rocket blue line. Corbet, 7 fighting majors this season. Vaughn rights over the top. Corbet tries to throw a left, fell down, gets back up. Vaughn now left yard, Corbet. Corbet then a couple of rights here as he retaliates late in this tilt. Now a couple over the top here, so Corbet showing some resistance here with Vaughn. Vaughn some rights as well. Nice scrap here as they take it to center. Uppercuts by Corbet. Holding on, neither punching. Now right, and then Corbet tries to throw right of his zone. That'll do it between Nate Corbet and the defenseman here for the Prince George Cougars.
Obviously not far from here in Lac La Biche, so now we got a fight going here. It's going to be Brian Gower for Edmonton. He's going to tangle up here with Mason Mikachuk. A right for Mikachuk. They're trying to get positioning down to an Eagles. Mikachuk, but will get right back up. Neither of them can get a hand free. Over the top right, a couple of them for Mikachuk. Gower can't quite get a hand free. Still just tangled, trying to get another right from Gower. They'll tackle to the ice. Probably a draw, I would say. Is back forth, the one-time Brandon Wheat King. Now we've got another fight. This one seemed to develop out of nowhere as Cash Cook for Tri-City. Some more hefty right hands being thrown here. I didn't quite get who it was for Edmonton. It's Jackson Futer.
Face-off controlled by Wenatchee. Got it as far as Holberton at the point. Across to the far point, nobody home. Nifty pullback, and Guilbeault tries to bring it through center. It's stolen back with Popple, and behind the play, Holberton is swinging. Most of the swinging coming from Andre. Holberton getting some lefts in. Andre going with the right hand. Holberton up against the glass briefly. Andre gets spun around. Holberton some uppercuts. Got him by the shoulders and the collar, and that's where the linesmen step in and say enough. Block, Riley has it left point. Scrapes it across. Murka cycles it down the wall for England. And a penalty coming up. Down is Murka at the top of the far circle. Out front, gloves are off. Fights on. Riley hammering away with one of the Wild players. Swings over the top. Saab is down, and the linesman jumped in quickly and finished that one off with 11:41 left in the third period.
Blade City, this is Jordan Martin, number 3 from Abbotsford, BC. This is Blades Hockey on CJWW.
Oh, big hit thrown by Jordan Martin on Rowan Woodward after the puck went by. Now Seth Fryer coming after Martin, and here go the gloves, and away we go. Seth Fryer going to avenge Rowan Woodward. Fryer's 76 penalty minutes and lands on top of Martin. The linesman will get in. Not many punches thrown. Neither of them was really set. Finds its target, Eli McCamey. McCamey for Cosmo Wilson, and a massive hit by Poole. McCamey and Valkonen come after him. Plays allowed to continue on. Lang 2-on-0. Save made by Eskett. Finally, play is whistled down, and we have a scrap going on behind the play as Poole is into it with Cruz Waltz. Cosmo Wilson, meanwhile, is face down on the ice on the center ice line right in front of the penalty box.
Draw one here by the Oil Kings. We're back underway.
We'll find
and a fight's going to go on here.
They'll wind it forward.
Jackson Futer
from behind by
Chase
Clausen. And that's going to be a penalty to Cohen.
Grab on a couple of heavy right. Both guys throwing bombs. An uppercut from Futer. Another couple right from England. Oh, a heavyweight bout.
Wants a piece of Clausen. Karimov and Carson Adair.
Oh, my!
Are engaged. Lancer and Lima are going. A big right by Lancer. Lima gets the takedown. Bridgman and Petruk pushing and shoving. And poor Cohen Pentney's like, get me out of here.
Able to win it back. Rolling around near left boards. Nagel on the wall. Checked by Mann. Steranka's in the battle. Nagel and Mann continue to battle. Puck gets loose. Now they're going to drop the gloves and go. Nagel missed with that right hand first. Now they tie up. Mann over the top. He's got the reach. Nagel. Nice little shot by Nagel into the shin of Mann. Mann stays on his skates though. Nagel's helmet is off. Mann working some body shots. Nagel comes back with a nice right hand, and they'll wrestle down to the ice. I love the energy there by Gage Nagel, right? Someone's got to supply it. Why not the local boy?
Great job by Gage Nagel.
Up the right side and brought in by Howe. He gets pushed off, and now centering feed, a bouncing puck. Now Kelly, he can't hold on to Darby. Now we got a fight behind the play. It's Birch. He's exchanging with Howe, and Howe some upper hands and some overhands. Now comes in with the left, and Birch trying to exchange back, and they're both throwing, and Birch gets taken down, and what a fight. An exciting one here at the Innovation Plex in that one. 1 second. And that'll do it. After 40 minutes of play, the Raiders lead at 5-1 here over the Broncos. We'll be right back with your second intermission show. I'm Austin Madison. This is Reddit Equipment, Case IH, Broncos Hockey on Country 94.1 Victory Plus. And we got some chaos here, actually, after the final whistle. of the second period. A whole pileup of Broncos and Raiders. Not too sure what's going on. As Moen and Jureks getting into it. Oh, now we got some gloves drop. And oh me, oh my. It's Jureks going after it here with Jackson Rudolph, and he takes him down. And the Broncos fans love that. And now it looks like Wilson, he's getting into it with someone by the penalty box. Uh-oh, now they're getting close, and the gloves might drop on this one. Wilson starts unloading. Oh my. And absolute chaos. The officials getting in between it. Wilson now throwing lefts. And now we got Braden Coots in there. So is Moen. And oh my goodness, Rudolph gets back up. And now he goes to exchange with Carter Moen. Are you kidding me? This is absolute insanity. Still, Trey Wilkie's on the ground. He's got Coots on top of him. And it's Riley Boychuk and Wilson still gripped onto each other. Colton Elaine and Olescu. Now Coots pulling out some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on him. Almost does a single leg takedown on Colton Elaine. Oh my goodness. Brown, he'll send it up the right side as it dribbles behind the net. Oh, and a big hit there. And now the gloves are getting dropped. And here we go. We got another one. It's Hubert Clark and Olescu. They're tied up. And now we got some more stuff going on behind the net. And they grab up right away. Not too many shots thrown on this one. And what a hit there on Brock Cripps.
And who had not played until tonight since that game, as a penalty on Seattle again on Cumby. And Cumby and Smith tied up just inside the Seattle blue line. And Smith is in a bad position, and he goes down with Cumby on top of him. And quickly the officials come in to pull him apart, but Seattle's going to be short-handed.
And Colton Giroux, puck back to the left point. Polachuk holds it now. He shoots, and Ravensburg fights through traffic and makes a blocker save. We have a fight. Polachuk and Caden Lemire will drop the gloves as both benches come to the feet. And here we go. Polachuk, a tough customer. Lemire is also. And here we go at center. They eye each other up. They're looking to get going here. And here we go. Lemire with a good right on Polachuk as he loses his mouth guard. Polachuk is holding on to Lemire. Some lefts from Lemire. Polachuk misses with the right. A body shot from Polachuk. Lemire swinging for the fences as Polachuk and Lemire. Big right from Lemire. He caught Polachuk. And then a right from Polachuk. Good fight here from both men. Polachuk a right, then a right from Lemire. They continue to trade shots. They're getting tired here at the blue line. And now they'll break it up. That's a terrific fight between both Lemire and Polachuk. They give each other a tap on the helmet. Puck now in behind the goal. Middlestat will go ahead to Polachuk. Puck goes high up the glass. That goes out of play. Will we have a delay of game penalty? I'm not sure. And now Parasak getting right into it here. The Giant, he drops his gloves here with Middlestat. Are they going to go? Yeah, they are. Parasak and Middlestat dropping the gloves. You don't see this a whole lot. Parasak now trying to get a right hand free against Middlestat. As Parasak trying to get his elbow guard off, and he does. As they're just tied up here, no punches thrown. Parasak a good right on Middlestat. As Parasak now trying to get that right hand free, he does. And the refs come in early to break it up. Tarek Parasak throwing his fists around.
The offensive zone, Burkar tries to get around Burek, who runs him into the wall. And now some more pushing and shoving as Burkar and now Buckley and Dranchak pair off. Merrick Howell has now dislodged the helmet from Diego Johnson. And now they've dropped the mitts. Merrick Howell and Diego Johnson trading punches. Johnson lands a couple big rights. Diego Johnson with the left now as Merrick Howell answers back, but Johnson lands more rights. He's coming over the top on the big defenseman, and now they go to the ice. What a tilt for Diego Johnson to put a cherry on top at the SOEC.
Shot, couldn't get it through. Great block by Hertig. Puck to Calgary, and it will be Keaton Junt who will bring it to center. Now we got a fight behind the scenes. Keats Fawcett, the 19-year-old Pat, has dropped the gloves with 20-year-old Calgary Hitman captain Axel Hurtig. They square off. Fawcett can throw him. Hurtig taller. He gets the first swing in. Down goes Fawcett. He gives him a body punch. Fawcett bounces up. Hurtig a couple more body blows. Now they'll seek out strategy here. Holding on. Hurtig couple of rights. Again into the body of Keats Fawcett. Now a left-hand jab. Now Hurtig switches to the left. Got a couple of lefts in there. And the linesman will come in and pull them apart. They were never teammates together for all that long.
He's going to get it here, dropping the gloves, and Alexander Lang is going to drop the gloves for the first time in his career as he's trying to swing away with the Blazer player Asher Gingras. They go down quickly, and they'll be separated. So Alexander Lang trying to get his crowd fired up here at
to center by Van Mulligan, worked right back in by Poland. We're going to have a scrap. Cam Parr squaring up with Mitchell McAlone, who laid that hit on Wu. They'll square up at center ice. Each grabs a hold of the other's jersey as Parr skating back into the blade line, waiting with a cocked right, looking to throw it.
McAlone has a hold of the
Now they're starting to throw. Here we go. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. They're letting them rip. A couple uppers from McAlone. Parr back over the top as they are firing away. Defense is optional in this fight. Now some lefts from Parr as nobody's stop and throw, and is finally they'll be stepped in and separated by the linesman, who even have to acknowledge that was a quality tilt.
Backhand, and a save made here by Condro again. Right corner, a rocket is upended. Play continues. Slow to get up, I think, is Polentine. As the puck came to center ice, the Rebels dump it back behind the Club Rocket net. 2.5 remaining in period number 1. Again, it's a 1-1 deadlock. Right in front of the Club Rocket goal, Henderson. Now he'll try to get away from Kuzma. Now we're going to fight Chechkin and Wetch. Way back inside Red Deer Rebel territory. Now they grab the hold of one another. Rice by Wetch. Chechkin throwing Rice in the zone here. Guys are getting in blows. Wetch now, Rice on Chechkin. Chechkin is standing in there. He's the taller of the two. And now they're going to bear hug one another. That's that fight between Chechkin and Wetch.
Rocket's 5th goal, scoring his first Western Hockey League goal, number 28, Eli Barrett. Assisted by number 10, Tomasz Politi. And by number 20, Wojtek Cichos. Time of the goal, 13:33.
We're going to fight in wall inside the Rocket zone. Rowan Guest trading punches with Tyson Yaremko. And again, that quickly erupted actually deep in the left corner. And so that's our second fighting major of the hockey game tonight.
Cook on left wing. Cook trying to throw it on net. Bouncing puck is tapped wide by Garland, who goes sliding into the end wall. Paveo battling for it. Now we got a fight as Cash Cook has dropped the gloves with Max Lavoie. Down below the goal line, trying to get a little momentum into the game. And the linesman came in and took Cook's feet out from underneath him. Linesman ran into 2 players on that sequence. He knocked over a Brandon player at the blue line. And then he also ran into the fight. And now Cash Cook is really hurt down in the corner as he got his legs knocked out from underneath him, struggling to get to his feet.
Still on the attack, and Dingman just can't hold on, taken away by the Pats, and now the Pats back the other way.
Drop the gloves.
And we got a fight here, the Broncos. It's Johnson. He's going across from Jonas Cone. They clinch up. Now they're tight. There's a shot there from the right side. Both of them going at it. No real exchanges yet. Now Johnson starts unloading. Cone trying to get back. Almost loses his balance. Now Johnson. He tries to exchange. Cone answers one back. Now there's a big punch and one from Johnson as well. They're up along the boards trying to exchange. Now Cone's getting in there. So is Johnson. They exchange. They get tied up. Is the referee going to break this one up? And yes, they do. They get in between it. And still a few punches there by Johnson, a few by Cone. And the officials get in between that one and a very early fight here to start things off. Just under 6 minutes here in the first period.
He got 2 assists tonight. Puck right in front of the Winterhawks tunnel, near side boards.
Grosclaws just slides it across to the near side wall. And now two Winterhawks going at it. Right on top of the near side circle, Brown and Vian exchanging a couple of blows, and they'll both go down in a heap.
In front and just swatted away by Weber at the last second. And Cal Stone runs his man over. And Hurlburt going after Stone. And now they've dropped the mitts. JP Hurlburt and Cal Stone are swinging away. And Stone has him pinned up against the wall. Both of them getting some good rights off here. And they head to the ice.
And that'll do it. We'll go back to 5-on-5. And another unsuccessful power play for the Broncos. 0 for 3 on the night. And now a delayed penalty here against the Broncos. And now we got bodies flying. And a huge pile up in the corner after Dingman lays a huge hit along the boards. And now Simcoe's getting involved. And now Archer Cook waiting at center. And we'll see what's going on. And uh-oh. Archer Cook smacking the stick, looking at Simcoe. We'll see what's going to happen. And we still got a bunch of fights now. Dingman's dropping the gloves in the corner. Sutherland is in there too, as well as Davidson. And bodies are just tied up and tangled. Birch now, he has the gloves off at him. He's unloading. Oh my gosh, a huge fight here. Sutherland and Birch, they absolutely unload. The small Birch going up against the big Sutherland, and Birch holding his own, and then he slams them down on the ground. And Birch takes down Carter Sutherland. The crowd's going to love that one. Oba Bifo and Johnson get broken up. And then we got Urix as well as someone else on the ground. And oh my goodness. Absolute chaos here at the Innovation Flex. Happy birthday, Charlie Horse. What a way to spend your birthday. And Dingman still tied up with Dylan Dean. And oh my goodness. An absolute WWE match here tonight at the Innovation Flex.
And Harsanyi has control again, going around behind the Raider goal. Sends it back towards the left side point, and we're going to drop the gloves here. Jonas Sievertson's first WHL tilt will be up against Hunter Lang, and they're going to lock each other up here. Sievertson, the first shot over top, an under uppercut there from Lang afterwards. Now still jockeying for position. Both guys firing shots, not sure if one's landed. Now they're starting to swing, and Lang just landed a pretty solid uppercut. Sievertson returns with a couple rights of his own. Lang firing underneath, Sievertson firing over top. Both guys still trying to find their spots. Sievertson just put a good one off the side of his helmet. They'll tie each other up, and that'll do it for this first fight of the night. Jonas Sievertson and Hunter Lang.
Element there. I mean, it's kind of like a blocky. Oh, here we go. It's Rudig
and Dunn. Oh, Dunn got Rudig turned around there, and they'll go down. I think Rudig had the better of the first half of that bout, the first couple rounds, and then Dunn managed to get his head free and throw a few of his own. Rudolph was looking for the puck to head towards his own net, turned around, and it went off the back of his leg and out into the neutral zone.
Sawyer Mays fighting for it. He had 2 goals against Everett last week, and we do have another scrap in the corner.
Yeah, we were just talking about Rudolph. He went into that scrum in the corner with a vengeance. I'm not sure if there was bad blood from earlier, but it's him and Holberton. Holberton, no stranger to the fisticuffs, as I said earlier, second in the WHL in penalty minutes.
And skating down the wall and cutting towards the front of the net was Slobodian, but he was cut off. And now another tilt here as it's Louis Wayman dropping the mitts, and he's throwing rights over the top. Wayman, he's in a tilt there with McDonough as Wayman coming over the top underneath, a big left from Wayman and the takedown. Louis Wayman, give him the belt, and it's still 2-0 V's.
Off the skates of Newtons. Wide of the goal of Otnu, slows it down as Brizgalov taking hard into the end boards. He is hurt behind the goal. Arms stay down. Whistle's going to sound, and Newtons coming to defend his teammate as Scott took him awkwardly into the boards, and Scott gets taken down by Newtons, and I am surprised there is no call on that with Brizgalov getting taken awkwardly into the end boards. He is down and hurt behind the Hurricane goal.
Yeah, objectively, it's hard to tell if there was much there from Will Scott, as Yaroslav Brizgalov had a bit of speed on the outside.
The middle for McNutt. He'll tip it towards the Moose Jaw net. Played aside by the goaltender Woodsky. There's a huge hit by Cohen Clausen, and he will drop the gloves. Here he goes. He'll drop the gloves with Williams. Clausen gets on top of Williams with his arm, and the linespersons will break it up. A huge hit by Cohen Clausen in the Moose Jaw corner. Williams asked him to drop the gloves, and Clausen said, "Why not?"
Circle, waiting and holding is free. He'll send to the net, blocked. Hit by Corbet, goes to the corner. Henderson defending here, won by Free, blue line, waiting and holding. Now we got a fight here near side. Corbet and Brown. Rights by Brown, Corbet rights. Now a couple of big uppercuts here by Corbet. This one happened quickly.
Thorpe somehow gets right back to it after the Broncos touched it up. And now we got the gloves dropping behind the play. And it's Brennan Brown and Noah D'Agostine. They're going at it. The slow build up here. Brown and D'Agostine, they level up. Come to the center logo, now getting ready to go. They're dancing. They're going left. They're going right. Who will make the first move? The referee says go. And here they go. Brennan Brown and D'Agostine both unloading rights. It's a huge exchange, and they just keep on going. And Brown and D'Agostine, they're not stopping. And the officials finally come in between and break it up. And what a fight here. D'Agostine and Brown both said, let's put the head down and let her go. Now the Tigers back in their own zone. Here's Wu up to Parr. Parr crossing center will smack this one down. Brennan Brown on the chase. Able to get it up along the wall to Kuryachenkov, now to Wilson. He finds Trey Johnson, who's trying to go alongside Wu. They make some collision, and the puck floats around. And now Wu and Johnson getting a little physical here by the Tiger bench. And now we're dropping the gloves. It's Parr going against Trey Johnson. Didn't like what he was doing to Wu, so here we go. Cam Parr, Trey Johnson, Parr, they lock up. Looking for some shots. Parr looking away. Johnson trying to get in there. Parr extending a little bit. Now Johnson, they get up close. The helmet falls off. Johnson goes to the ground. Now they start unloading, but the officials get in there. And as soon as the helmet popped off, the referee comes in and breaks it up. Feed here. And now Parr will chip it in on the chase. Gets it behind the net of Cook. Rung around to the right side wing. And now we got some stuff after the play here. It's Urix and Cunningham. They get up close and personal. Now they drop the gloves, and they're clinched up, and now they're exchanging. The referees let it go. Now they break off a little bit, and here we go. It's Daxton Urix and Carter Cunningham. They're having a good time right in the slot. A helmet pops off. They're still clinched up, trying to get loose. Urix looks like he has a jersey or a helmet turned around. Finally, he goes down, and Cunningham starts feeding him a few. And the officials get in there. And I think Urix...
Rights. Picked up in front of the benches by Schmidt, but again, he couldn't control that puck. A lot of pushing behind the play. There goes Holbertson. He'll drop the gloves. Trying to see who that is for Portland. Looks like Wilfley right in front of the Portland bench. Wilfley's in a very precarious position with that jersey pulled up over his head, but he fights back, and now they go to the ice. We'll have some fighting majors coming here at 11:47 of the third period. Using that speed again to go on net. He's trying to flick one on goal. He runs over top Malinowski. That gets the attention of Hawker. He and Brown go down in behind the T-Bird net. Malinowski on his back in the Seattle crease as T-Bird athletic trainer Tom Orr comes out to take a look at him. We got Bibo tied up with a one Portland player. Piznichka and Larocque are going at it. Linesman trying to get into that scrap. Larocque got his left hand free, takes Piznichka down to the ice and continues to throw punches before the linesman pulls him off of him.
For the Memorial Cup that they will be hosting at the end of May. Here's Dumansky. Big hit from behind by Politin. And then Carlos takes exception. And now everyone getting into it in behind the Cougar goal. There's going to be a lot of penalties here. The Cougars might be the one getting the action. Oh, we got a fight. Here we go. It's Politin and Bauer. Dumansky. Oh, Bauer, a big right on Politin. And now they're going big right for Politin on Bauer again. Dumansky, though, holds that right back and hammers Politin with the right. They still hold on. Dumansky waiting to get that right hand free. Oh, my goodness. Politin's out. And Dumansky's going to head to the box.
Ring up the left side for McKegney, back to the middle, and Boychuk skates it out the center. And Boychuk up to the red line. We're going to drop the gloves here as Barrett gets into it with Lesiuk. Barrett with a hard shot over the top on the right hand to start things off, and now they lock each other up here. Lima's trying to throw some uppercuts, and there's another one over the top by Barrett. And now they've got full extension on those arms out front. Lesiuk's trying a couple uppercuts. Not sure either one landed. That last right from Barrett didn't. And now they'll get into the wrestling match. Barrett, there's another uppercut there that lands on the last punch. These two guys put on a show here in the Hauser. Difference in skill from 0 to 100 as the Wheat Kings played out to center and into the Raiders zone. Bethal is checked down by Bennett Kelly as Barrett and Pantelis are on the box, and they're going to drop him. Here we go. Lyndon Barrett, Gio Pantelis backing up into the Wheat Kings zone. Barrett lands a strong right to start this one as they lock up, and now looking to get that right hand loose. And Barrett is teeing off with uppercuts and overhands. Another uppercut, and now Pantelis is starting to fire back with some lefts. And Barrett goes down to his knees but stands up, and they're still chucking. Both guys firing shots with both hands. Pantelis lands a couple of hard lefts now and going over top, and Barrett trying to wrestle him to the ice, and he will get a takedown.
That was a good tilt.
Yeah, it was.
So Saver with the puck sweeping up now. Right off the bat. Moore and a right off the bat. There is a fight. Moore. Ego the sticky gum Ludwig. I know he's going. So I think it was an even fight. What do you think?
Absolutely, Clarence. And Zach Moore is never one to shy away from dropping the gloves. Brought some.
Ship it in. Chorney going after it. First on it behind the net. Now Oreskovic behind the goal. Carrying along the outside, and we're going to have a fight. Chorney dropping the mitts with Carson Olsen, two Saskatchewan kids. A 19-year-old and a 16-year-old. And throwing rights here is Olsen. He's got Chorney's helmet off. Chorney trying to answer back, and Olsen does get the takedown. Whoa, Chorney's got to be hot. Something clearly upset him that he drops the mitts late in the third period against an older opponent.
Jake Evans in the middle at center for Ole Chenier. Former Prince Albert Raider pushes it into the near Blades left wing corner. Sent around behind the goal to the far side. Adair, and now we're going to get a scrap right off the hop. Tyler Parr and Matteo Fabrizi, they know each other from before. Fabrizi, a former Prince Albert Raider, and Parr, they're in the center ice circle engaged, and away they go. They both have landed some rights, but now right now collar elbow hookups, both trying to throw rights. Now trying to see who can wrestle the other one to the ice. Fabrizi getting a good shot right there. Parr trying to get his left free, can't do so. Now he gets that left free, but still can't throw. Fabrizi, much bigger of the two in terms of height. They're still going. The officials letting him go. Now Fabrizi gets rocked by one, and he comes back with one. They're right in front of the penalty boxes now, and Fabrizi with a couple of good shots and lands on top of Tyler Parr. 22 seconds into the game.
First period, Ginla back the other way for Kelowna. TJ Ginla dropped by Corbin Vaughn. Puck loose, Vaughn gets it free, and he'll clear the length of the ice. Vaughn wants to go here with Dawson Gerwing as they tie up. Gerwing just wrestles Vaughn to the ice.
Turns out a wrestling match.
I think this is going to be 5 minutes for wrestling for these two.
Yeah. And there was, I think, a little bit more respect in the game. Like if somebody was down and out, things would be stopped, and
Oh, Sakuma's trying to shoot that one. Delayed penalty coming up against the Thunderbirds, and now a fight right in front of the Seattle bench, and it's haymakers right on top. It's Murka going at it with Griffin Darby. Darby trying to connect on a couple of rights. He got a couple of heavy licks in. Murka and Darby exchanging blows right on top of the blue line. Murka's got Darby in the headlock, and the officials are going to step in and separate them.
30 seconds left in the middle frame. Coming up in the intermission, a chat with, a heavy check thrown by Newtons as he sat down Gauthier, and we're going to see a tilt. Darby and Newtons squaring off inside the Tigers zone. They grab a hold of one another. Uppercut from Darby. Newton still waiting to throw his right. He has cocked. Heavy uppercuts from Newtons as he's firing away rabbit punches, then tosses Darby on down to the ice.
Colton Bridgman, D to D for Matt Peranich. Ahead on the near wing, Connor Baird feeds it into the Blades end, and now we're going to have a scrap. Matt Peranich and Elias Poole, and Poole is feeding Matt Peranich. Peranich didn't like the hit he got from Poole after he dished the puck off. They exchanged a couple of shots.
Alkos, right wing, angled ahead for T.J. Ginlett. And across, McInnes rifles it down the wall. Tversnik gets to it out of the end. Boards, gloves off, fights on. Andre swinging over the top, gets the left hand over the top against McInnes. Hammers away, 3 with the right hand, a 4th one and a 5th one. McInnes still trying to get that right hand out. Gets an uppercut in. Andre over the top, swinging wildly at the blue line. Andre trying to get the helmet down, and they tie each other up. One more uppercut from McInnes as the linemen step in and tap him on a job and a scrap. Well done.
Christmas Eve from the U.S. World Junior team, and
we're going to get a fight.
All right.
Polinchuk dropping the mitts with Cam Norrie. Kelowna, BC's Norrie against Jackson Polinchuk from Ardrossan, Alberta. They are going toe-to-toe at center ice, eyeing one another up. Still now they grab a hold of one another, and here we go. Polinchuk feeding some rights. Got a good uppercut, and they quickly go down. Will that be it? Oh, that will be it. He got one good uppercut with that right. I think maybe a second. And then Norrie came back with a couple of his own, and that was it.
Face-off win by Kamloops. Ryan Michael, a chance blocked by Corbin Vaughn. Here's Ash at the right wing. We have a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Matt and Timchak wrestles a cougar to the ice. That was Sobry, and they're going to let him go after they went down. Sobry trying to get his right hand free, but Timchak is firing right to Tyrone. Sobry right back on his own, but Timchak throws Sobry to the ice. And Timchak with some words to Sobry, and Timchak.
Their team, there's still a chief without a stick. That's Merrick Howell, who is twigless in the defensive end. This puck scooted into the neutral zone, and now the gloves are coming off. It's Brown and Shetler. Nathan Brown and Shetler have each other by their collars. Shetler trying to go over the top. Brown connects on a couple of rights. Shetler starts feeding Brown. Shetler trying to go to the uppercut. He'll grab Brown up, and Brown brings Shetler to the ice.
Line for the Wheat Kings. Back behind the Wheat King net. It's lifted back out front. Baumüller bangs away, and Bass holds his ground. Mann gives Baumüller a bit of a shot, and Johnson comes in to take not just Mann away from the Wheat Kings' leading goal scorer, but Mann is trying to throw punches, and he's got a glove off, and he and Baumüller are going to go. Mann's big, but Baumüller is experienced in this regard. Mann over the top. Baumüller answers with a right. Mann comes over. Baumüller shielding himself well on the taller player in the near corner. Mann trying right hands, and then Baumüller lands a wild one. An uppercut by Baumüller, and he corks one on the ear. Baumüller and Mann in close quarters now. Baumüller goes to the left. Mann answers with the rights. Baumüller lands a heavy right, and down they go. Mann flipped Baumüller hard to the ice at the end of that scrap. You hope Baumüller's okay.
Over Monday afternoon, BC Family Day. Oh, we got a fight here. Back inside the Rocket Zone. Cornbay and Polinchuk. Cornbay. Right, Polinchuk a right, uppercut by Cornbay. Cornbay, another uppercut, and he knocks down Polinchuk.
Jodry. Wild make a defensive change behind the plate. McIsaac to the far hash mark. Tripped up along the far wall is Jodry. Long toss, caught up at the benches. And we'll get a puck out of play. Dropping the gloves. Fights on. Jodry and McIsaac. Jodry gets a few shots in with the left hand. Caught on the jersey. Huge right hand. The helmet is off on McIsaac. He's trying to hang on. McIsaac over the top. A couple of uppercuts from Jodry. McIsaac still over the top, trying to get to that collar. And that'll about do it.
Foster with speed enters the zone around the outside. He's run into there and knocked to the ice by Dugan. Peterson who drops the mitts. Peterson and Lemire, and Peterson with a big right knocks Lemire to the ice. And the V's are winning all over the ice here in the second period. Wayman chasing in on Carls. Carls and Wayman in the corner, and Louis Wayman takes Carls down to the ice.
Yep. Trust me, Carls, you don't want it.
Carls gave Wayman a shot earlier in that possession, and Wayman gave him one right back as Carls cleared the puck away.
Yeah, that was not even a fight. That was just a hate to see there.
Oh, goalie fight here at center ice. Ravensburgen and McCollum drop the mitts right at center. McCollum grabs Ravensburgen. They both come over the top. Some big bombs there, and they fall to the ice. The two big goaltenders square off at center. As Ethan McCollum with a big smile on his face. That one came out of nowhere.
Absolutely out of nowhere. I was looking down at the corner at Wayman and Carroll's, and then all of a sudden we see McCallum and Ravensburgen squaring up there, and that's, you don't see that a lot.
Oh, that was great.
To the Rebel line, down the left wing, it's Stingram ripping a wrist shot above goal, and we're going to see a fight. Cam Kuzma and Riley Steen squaring up at center ice. The former Thunderbird in Kuzma and Riley Steen in his rookie year on the Tiger line. Engaged with Kuzma at the Rebel blue. They trade overhand rights. Kuzma with a grab of the face mask of Steen, who takes down Kuzma to the delight of the Tiger faithful. 5-0 the Tigers in front, 6:12 left in the second.
For him being dealt, I guess eventually to, was it Edmonton? And then Edmonton's traded him to Tri-City. Puck down low right corner, Abagosh in front. Weak wrist shot, high slide area, and worked wide of the goal. Trying to get the velocity on that attempt there. Now we got a fight here in the right corner. McKinchuk will try to go at it here deep in the zone. And trying to get a right free here for the Rockets is Jake Henderson. Henderson typically not involved in a physical confrontation of this magnitude. But Henderson doing a lot of holding on here, but that's okay. And now the linesmen come in to separate those two. Again, that takes some courage. And for Jake Henderson, again, to go outside of his comfort zone, give him a pat on the back.
Undetected by the referees as Lethbridge able to get the puck to no into the middle. Took a hard hit there, and that's going to be a penalty. In comes Lethbridge, and Carson Adair wants a piece of Kenju Goisic, who took a liberty on Easton Deneau. Oh, a big right by Adair, and he gets a takedown on a fight with Kenju Goisic.
Softly flip it ahead. Jacobson peels back and leaves it for Misselbacher. He'll drive the middle as Parr knocks Jacobson down, but Misselbacher's out to center. Over the blue line to his left. Dancing into the far side is behind the play. We got a fight. Bame did not like that hit on Jacobson, and he and the Blades captain are going to square off. These are two tough customers, well familiar with this type of shindig. They size one another up at center. Bame latches on. He's got the reach advantage. Parr, the more experienced of the two. Parr's got that right-hand cock going with body shots now. Bame lands one over the top. Parr still holding him off, sheds the elbow pad with force. Parr tries to come over on Bame. They fall to the ice, and the linesman will pull the two of them apart. With 17:09 to go in the third period. Bame did not like that hit on Jacobson. The Wheat King bench did not like it either. They are animated.
So what song is he singing first?
I think I'm going to do anything like, Oops, I Did It Again, Lost. Anything that he would be uncomfortable singing to my mom.
No Buble standards.
Sean Burke and Noah Ta'amu dropping gloves here at center ice in this Prospects game. Oh. Now Burke with the length advantage at 6'8". There's Joe Iginla getting there first. Brought down to his knees, plays it behind the net again. As Judry is run into. Well, now we got a fight breaking out as Dean able to get a right hand in on what looks like Joe Iginla, who hops right back up and then loses his balance. Well, they both go down, and finally they will be separated by our two linesmen in this one tonight, Braden Cameron and Brandon Peterson.
Pass here, almost a rush, but broken up in time is quite Funk. He's trying to find the opportunity. And now it looks like we got Kuryachenkov dropping the gloves with Caden Lemire. And here we go. They're unloading. Lemire, a couple underhands, gets down and starts going on top and pounding Kuryachenkov. And Kuryachenkov got one good shot in. And
huge here for Spokane, this final 440. Puck comes out to Armstrong. Oh, he took a late hit there. As that was Sharp, who just came out of the penalty box. And now, as you would imagine, trying to get it Sharp, and now Armstrong's going Martin at Sharp on top of him. Yep, Martin's Armstrong taking whatever he can. Yeah, Coco's ready to go for anything in a white jersey. Hit after the whistle by Sharp as he was coming off to the bench.
After it. Back out to center ice. We have a fight. Deschamps drops the gloves with Ryan Goer. And here we go at center ice, right at the logo. They square off. And they grab onto each other. Deschamps lands the first punch and takes him down. Dayton Deschamps takes down Ryan Goer. And
nice open ice hit by Patrick Sopiars, who gets hit hard from behind by McAlone. No call there, but now they're going to drop the mitts at center. An open ice hit by Sopiars. McAlone with the retaliation. Got away with no call there, but now they're going to drop the mitts right at center. Oh, a couple of early rates from Sopiars. Tristan Mitchell-McAlone looking to reply. Sopiars looking to get that left hand loose, stumbles a little bit. McAlone comes over the top of Sopiars' helmet with a couple of rights. Now Sopiars trying to regain his balance. They're tied up right at center ice. Now McAlone comes over the top. Sopiars gets the left arm over top. Now the two linesmen are going to step in. So not a lot of blows landed in that scrap.
16th goal of the season. He extends a point streak to 10. And 2 goals in 48 seconds. And we're going to have a fight at center ice between Riley Steen and Gavin Lesiak. 2 Island guys. Lesiak from Duncan. Steen from Ladysmith, about 15 minutes away. Lesiak trying to get an uppercut. Steen keeping him at bay. Now over top comes Steen. Left jab by Riley Steen. A body shot by Lesiak, now over top for the right. Some left jabs by Lesiak up against the boards. Some rights by Steen in the crowd. Linesmen are into it. And it looks like they'll separate here.
Hager. Pass to the right circle, broken up, intended for Deneau. Wu checks a man into the corner as Wu's going to be getting all types of shots in on Deneau, his arms up in the air, and everyone's grabbing a partner. Wu going after Deneau. Now we got a fight.
Cade Duell
the far,
on the far side.
McCann and Deneau ranked all at one another. McCann, a couple takedowns on Deneau. Duell. Overhand right from Duels. They're still squaring off in the circle. Jersey of Duell nearly completely off. Uppercut from Duell misses. He'll come back as McCann over the top with a right. Takes Duell back down.
Caden McCann takes the entire shoulder pads of
Version to the attacking side is Larocque. jabbed at by Dick. He can't get control of it. Winterhawks hand it off. Bebo, his shot blocked away by McDonough. McDonough to Carter Matthews. Now ahead once again to Carson Dick. Rolling and bouncing in front of his own bench. Winterhawks possess on top of the red line. They'll scoot it down for a free change. And now shoves being thrown on the whistle. And now we're getting some punches thrown. And it's an unplanned fight here. As Holberton just dropped the mitts and started feeding a Winterhawk on the near side boards, and Brown taking some heavy exception to that, and now Rich Campbell needing to leave the bench for some assistance.
Ruzicka left it behind there. Lemire is on it. Makes a move on Lavoie. As behind the play, we got a fight. It's going to be Pantelis and Foster. Foster is a tough customer. Fought 4 times already this season, and now Lavoie's into it on the far side with Lemire. Referees are going to have to separate the two of them, and they can save that for later as Pantelis and Foster are the main event. They lock one another up. Pantelis is a lefty. Not everybody knows that because he doesn't fight often. He's trying to get that left arm free against the veteran Foster. Pantelis has Foster in a headlock, eats a right. Foster trying to get that arm free. Now comes with lefts on Pantelis. Pantelis trying to hold him off. Foster's landing. Now Pantelis comes back with lefts over the top and uppercuts. Pantelis with heavy uppercuts. Foster ditches the helmet, swings and misses. Pantelis now has his helmet knocked off. Foster lands an overhand. Pantelis replies. They're locked up just inside the neutral zone, and the linesman will pull the two of them apart with 1:03 to go in the first period. Pantelis standing in against a tough customer. And
words with Tyler Parr, and Parr saying, let's go, and here we go. It might be the end of the Blades power play as Parr wants to avenge the hit. Louis Wayman and Tyler Parr come together. Wayman threw an uppercut, then got Parr off balance, and they both crashed to the ice with Wayman landing on top.
Assisted by number 27, Luca Shabina, and by number 3, Josh Cole. Time of the goal, 7:01.
We've got a lot of pushing and shoving in the right corner, and it looks like Gerwing and Tate are going to go at it deep in the zone. Gerwing can't right here on Tate on a size mismatch, and the linesman jump in. But again, it was an illegal hit by Tate. And so Gerwing wanted to send a clear message.
By Cole Height under pressure, but got it back to Kason Fisher. Now we're going to have a scrap. It's going to be Gavin Clark of the Blades and Cole Height for Prince George. A couple of American boys. Height from El Segundo, California, and Clark from Newport Beach. They might know each other a little. Both trying to get their rights going. Height now throwing lefts. And Clark's lost his helmet. Trying to throw Height to the ice is Gavin Clark. The linesman trying to get in there. And Clark now will get the takedown and land on top.
Fights his way free. Time ticking down. The Wheat Kings bounce back nicely. They'll take a 4-1 win over the Regina Pats and take the lead commandingly in the season series as the end of the game gets downright nasty. Skvortsov and Cone are into it on the near side. Lavoie is into the pile against Bridgman as we got a fight between Skvortsov and Cone. Cone coming over the top on Skvortsov. Skvortsov knocks him down with a right. In the meantime, Lavoie wants to go with Rolison. Skvortsov coming over the top on Cone. Now lands a gloved left. Cone underneath. Skvortsov's wrestling him to the ice, and down they go. As behind the play, we got a goalie scrap. It's Ruzicka going into it with Tabashniak. It's a goalie fight at ACU Place. 6'7" Ruzicka has the reach advantage. He's landing on Tabashniak, who's coming back. Ruzicka, a big uppercut. Over the top he comes. Tabashniak slammed to the ice. As Philip Ruzicka called out Taylor Tabashniak in a game where both guys were brilliant. They came to center, squared off, and give one another a tap of respect.
Up the right side, and from the red line, he'll shoot it in. Shetler. Spokane back in their own zone. And now we get a whistle as we're going to drop the gloves. Chase Harrington going to go at it with Brady Martin. Third time these two clubs have played in a week, and I would imagine familiarity breeding contempt, and that is on full display right now at center ice.
Calgary poked down the ice. Bogachev able to win that foot race, and then Hurst with the hit, and that'll be a penalty. Moore jumping on Hurst. They'll tussle on the wall. Hurst trying to knock some uppercuts. Moore landing a right. Hurst coming back with one. Still locked up now in the far left circle. Hurst in tight. Gets the helmet off of Moore. Oh, Hurst lands a good couple of uppercuts with the right hand. Moore holding on right now. Oh. It is a penalty.
Late opportunity, but Durham is there to defend back in his own corner. He's all tied up. Loveson, Bonkowski, 3 seconds, and we're not going to move the puck just yet. And now we're going to get the gloves up here. Durham and Sawyer Mays, and they're going to want to go here. Line's been trying to get between them, and now they're going to let him go. Sawyer Mays from Salmon Arm, who played some U18 hockey here, wrestling down with Durham. And now more scraps perhaps break out.
And the Kelowna Rockets right now with a 4-0 lead, but again, it doesn't feel like a 4-0 lead. Now they're going to fight. Harrington down low, and Leslie Rice. Leslie's first fight of the season. Harrington big rights on Leslie. Leslie a nice shot, another uppercut, and now it's taken back behind the net. Well, the net is technically moved out of harm's way, so neither guy was going to be able to land into the goal, but a nice spirited fight between Mazda and Leslie.
Left along the umbrella, drops it off to Parr, filling in at the right point. From the right circle, he makes a spinorama move down low on his backhand, tries to work it out front. Poke check by Ruzicka, then went right over top of Ruzicka, and the Wheat Kings won't appreciate that. In the meantime, we got a fight between Allard and Parr. Cam Allard's going at a tough customer in Parr. He's well acquainted with this situation. Parr trying to hold Allard off, as in the meantime, McCann and Boehm are wrapped up in the corner. Ruzicka's still down as Parr swings wildly with his left and misses. Now tries with rights. Allard answers with a right. Allard holding Parr off with his reach. Parr trying to come over the top. Allard answers back. Parr with left pops the helmet off of Allard and flings him to the ice. As Ruzicka's just now getting back to his knees with 50.4 on the clock in the second. Cam Allard sure doesn't pick his spot for his first WHL fight.
Wilkie 0 for 2 on the shootout this season, but this is the one that matters. With speed comes in, backhand gets denied, and the Wheat Kings, the Wheat City Walleye, and oh no, we got some physical contact as Wilkie was making his way back to the bench. Gleesman gets in the way as they were going to celebrate, and oh my goodness, the officials get in the way, and holy,
how did that happen?
Gleesman and Wilkie, and I want to see the replay. Very unusual, because either Wilkie was curling back around the right side, and the only, like I said, we have to see the replay before we kind of start assuming what happened.
The ice, and we'll skate it out to center. Milford 1-on-2, dodges a check there as he falls to the ice. Milford gives his man a shot, is lining him up, and now we've got some rough stuff out in front. Milford drops the gloves with Basson. Milford taking some uppercuts, now comes back across with a couple rights. The young forward for the Bees throws some rights here, and they're all wrapped up. Milford gets the right loose, and he comes back with an uppercut. Noah Milford, both guys throwing some uppercuts, a spirited tilt there, as both will go off for 5, but the V's loving that from their young forward.
Stevatek is won back by the Hawks off the glass, settled down by Vaughn, zipped over towards the far point, out of reach of everybody. Back towards Christofferson, and now Jackson Vaughn's going to drop the gloves. He's entangled with Wilfley in front of the Portland bench, looking for some separation. Vaughn comes over the top, Wilfley swings and misses, and Vaughn drags him down. Luke Wilfley, who's an 08 birth year, entangling with the Silvertips resident pugilist.
As Shantz is clipped up high on his way out of the zone. Here's Vluswick leading the charge the other way. Around the wall, Matthews over towards the near side boards. And now we're going to get a scrap. Ryland Gould is going to drop him with Nathan Brown. Ryland Gould's first tilt as a silver tip. After Shantz was clipped up high, Gould is going to entangle the overager, comes underneath with a few rights. Nathan Brown, 6'1", 166. Gould, 5'10", 180. And they'll stand their ground.
Again, and offside on the play is Danileko, a little bit in behind everyone. Play whistle down. Yeah, Blazers 2 goals. Lafreniere and JP Hurlburt. And now we got a fight here out of nowhere. Cruz Waltz and throwing some big trades, some punches. Boy, they're going at it good. That's Owen Cooper and Cruz Waltz. They're going to wrestle down to the ice. Whew. Not sure if there's history there or not, but they got at it and were chucking them pretty hard there, back and forth.
We had Stewart upended against the near board inside the Royal zone. Then he gets his dander up here, and I think he may want to fight. Papanicus, now he'll fight here. Papanicus and Stewart. And Papanicus takes down Stewart quickly. And that's going to do it for that fight between Hayden Papanicus and Nolan Stewart. Again, Stewart upset after he was hit. Shot hit the side of the net. Came loose. Left wing Stewart. And Stewart, whoa! Hit up the puck here by Guest, and he's taken down. He'll fight. Fryer is going to go at it here with Rowan Guest. Right at the rocket line. Guest tries to throw right here on Fryer. Two big boys that tangle at center. Guest, some big rights here on Fryer. Fryer standing up again for Stewart, who went down. And now Rowan Guest trying to send Fryer to the canvas, and he's successful. And again, Stewart makes his way to the Victoria Royal bench.
Sulpiar's at the blue line. Fans on a pass, and now Christensen's going to dump it the other way. Rebels pick it up at their own blue line. Well, now Sulpiar's and Christensen are going to mix it up, and they're going to try and drop the mids. Christensen fires his right mid into Sulpiar's. Now he comes over with the left. It's not a fight. And now over here by the Prince Albert bench, Kuzma getting tied up with Dax and Rudolph. So we'll see just how many penalties here. Okay, and now finally Sulpiar's and Christensen drop the mitts. Enough is enough, these two say. Linesman says, okay, you guys have at it. Settle your own differences, and let's see what you can do about it. Neither guy landing any solid blows yet. Sulpiar's trying to sneak in a couple of left jabs. Christensen coming across with the left hook now off the back of the neck of Sulpiar's. Christensen trying to rip off Sulpiar's helmet as he goes to a knee, and now the linesmen get in there and stop the proceedings. But that all started with a nice open ice hit by Christensen on Sulpiar's inside the Red Deer blue line a few seconds earlier.
Front pad save made, a chance on the doorstep, and Kwasnika gets to this one, shoved off his feet in the far corner by Jodry. Gloves off, fights on. Kwasnika comes back to his feet and says, let's dance. Jodry at the blue line, Kwasnika at the blue line. Kwasnika goes after the jersey, gets one roundhouse around the right. Big right over the top from Jodry. There's swinging rights. A couple of body shots from Jodry. A right-hand miss is from Kwasnika. Couple connect for Jodry. A couple more that did not. And the linesmen leap in and send this one to its end.
Arco. Iginla, backhand pass to the near side. Guest took a high hit from Polonchuk. Oh, that's going to get called. Polonchuk's going to shed the mitts. Yeah, he's going to have to answer. Papanicus has dropped the mitts with Polonchuk. Papanicus trying to get that right free. Now Polonchuk will answer as they hold on to one another. Polonchuk, an uppercut from Polonchuk as he's getting that swing in that right is Polonchuk. They continue to go toe for toe. Polonchuk has lost his helmet, and now they're pretty tired, and the linesman will come in and separate them as Guest.
Now an odd man rush. Here's McDonough far side. Fought off the puck there by Jackson Adam and gets crunched into the boards on the far side corner. And McDonough very slow to get up in the Tri-City end. McDonough back to his feet. He's limping out, and now dropping the gloves is Reed Brown. And he's going to go toe-to-toe with Jackson Adam. Brown gets at him with a right hook, and they'll both go down right in front of the Tri-City penalty box. Reed Brown taking some exception to that hit on Kyle McDonough.
Into the Royal zone, but this will be an icing call on Seattle. As Holberton and McCarthy are going to drop the glove. This is a little bit of butt Jeff right here because Holberton's got about 5 inches on McCarthy, but McCarthy is game. They're going to go at it. And McCarthy doing the wise thing. He's hugging Holberton, staying in close so Holberton can't get those long arms free. Finally, the officials are going to pull him apart.
One thing he talked about was getting the, we're going to see a fight. Schaefer Gordon Carroll and Shea Rollison squaring up at center ice. I believe the first fight for Schaefer Gordon Carroll in his career as he'll knock down Rollison initially as the two throwing in front of the penalty boxes. Gordon Carroll a nice right on Rollison as the linesman will step in to break up the spirited scrap.
Wing feed to Boyce, puts it toward the net. Condro drops down to cover up. 2:07 left to go in period number 1. The fourth captain that we were talking about earlier, alluding to. Oh, we're going to have a fight. Hold that thought, Chris Niesner, because Boyce and Noah Chatty are going to settle their differences. A couple of Alberta-born rookies, Chatty from Edmonton and Boyce from Calgary, gets in a quick left hook right across the chin of Noah Chatty, and Rebels defenseman loses his balance. They both go to the ice.
Not the most neat and tidy clearance. Oh, and a fight here inside the neutral zone. It's Abagosh and Wilfley. Abagosh got a couple of good licks in with the right hook early. Now Wilfley trying to retaliate. They'll tie each other up. Wilfley trying to go to the uppercut. He gets one, it looks like off the chin. Abagosh throws the shoulder pad off. Abagosh connects on a right, as does Wilfley. Abagosh gets Wilfley pretty good. Wilfley getting his shoulder pad off, or his elbow guard rather, and they'll both drag each other down to the ice. Don't back down. Under 5.5, and Andrei Stepatek gets taken out on the far side of the ice, and this is going to draw a couple of Winterhawks down to Martin, and they're going to drop the mitts. It's Martin against Gustafsson in defense of Andrei Stepatek. Martin tries to go over the head. Gustafsson tries to get him on the chin. He's back to his feet. They'll drag each other down after 2 or 3 punches apiece.
He'll look forward, goes cross ice, left wing, Owen Hayden, center ice Pankratz, and he's hit on the play here. And a penalty coming up here. Is it going to be, well, now we got a fight here. Owen Hayden's going to go, and he's going to get into a fight here with Carson Olsen, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Owen Hayden rights here, big rights here by Olsen. Again, they're looking for leverage against the far side. Olsen another right, Owen Hayden a couple of rights as well. And the linesmen jump in to separate those two, so remaining, make it 4, make it 3, make it 2, and the game will end tonight.
McElhone off the boards to center. McGregor in front of the Blades bench gets bowled over by McElhone, pushed into the Blades end, and now Kachkowski and Birch, and they're going to drop the mitts. Birch with a couple of rights early, rolls over top. Linesmen jump in before Kachkowski can get a right free. Get the puck free as we're into the final minute of the second period. Along the end boards, Botel comes up with it. And now we're getting a scrap out of that far corner. Carter Moen and Braden Klimke have dropped the mitts. Moen throwing rights but hitting helmet. Klimke able to take down Moen along the far boards. And that's our second scrap.
Center with 2:50 to play in the second. Puck will be redirected and dumped in to the back of the Regina net. Hamilton unable to clear, and now we got a fight at center. Shane Rollison drops the gloves with Mann trying to spark his team, Drew. At the Prince Albert line, Rollison grabs on a man in front of a huge crowd inside the Brandt Center. Rollison comes over the top of a right. Mann with an uppercut. Rollison back over right, now trying to get a left on him. They grapple onto each other as Rollison tries to come over the top, and Mann slams him into the penalty box boards as the linesmen come and separate them.
Well, and let's not forget that Mann is 6'6" and over 200 pounds.
First goal allowed by T-Bird goaltender Sklenicka after the shutout on Tuesday. There's a T-Bird player down on the ice, and that draws a crowd. There go the gloves. This T-Bird's got to be careful here. They're the only ones dropping the gloves at the moment. Now there's multiple sets of gloves on the ice. We'll see who Hawker is engaged in as he throws him down to the ice.
Feuder, left wing, gloves it down at the half wall, banked to the line. Austin Zemlak walks it across. His shot off a stick and out of play. Now we got a fight going here. Jackson Feuder is going to go up against Max Lavoie, and a quick right from Feuder, trying to tangle up. Now a couple of rights from both of them. Lavoie gets a few in. Feuder gets a few more in. Tangled up, an uppercut from Feuder. A couple more rights. Now a left from Feuder. Another right from Lavoie. Now an uppercut from Feuder. A left from Feuder. Still tangled, and they elect to end this one.
Wing. Thorpe back checked by a couple of pats and behind the play. Ziprick and Peranich dropping the glove. Ziprick working the right hands. Peranich can't get it going. Ziprick uppercut sandwiches galore as he puts Peranich down. Peranich takes another one off the chops. Ziprick another uppercut as Aiden Ziprick continues to put the shots onto the chin of Peranich. Peranich comes back, lands a late right hand himself, but give the tail of that fight to Aiden.
Martin sends away Vielhoeft. Poke checked at center, and now behind the play, we've got Caden Allen and Gunnar Gleesman going to go. Well, I don't know anything about Caden Allen as a fighter, but Gunnar Gleesman's a big, tough boy, and Allen, a farm kid from Hamiota. Let's see what happens here. Gleesman with a couple of rights. Allen not able to get involved really so far. Gleesman, well, left missed by Gleesman, and now Allen coming back with right, and he knocks him down. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Gunnar Gleesman thought he had himself an easy one early, but Caden Allen hangs in and gets him knocked down.
Loose in the slot, and Lodwick tried to send it towards the net, but it was knocked wide. Back comes Goysick the other way. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Goysick returned from Strader. Got it back. Got it to Dean. Cutting in front, but now we got to fight. Southern and Lodwick will go at it. Two 20-year-olds. A couple of rights from Southern. They're tangled up. Now a couple more short rights from Lodwick. Tangled. Can't really get the handle for either of them. Now they're starting to swing. An uppercut from Southern. And down goes Lodwick onto a knee.
Well, this started with a big hit.
Bouncing puck at the side of the goal comes right through the blue paint as Andre Stebatek missed it. We've got a penalty coming up here to Jake Goodell as he and Sukumis are going to drop the gloves. A couple of 20-year-olds as Goodell swinging away at Sukumis down on the ice. Jake Goodell trying to get the crowd into the game here. Trying to get the Toyota Center crowd behind the Americans here. So Goodell kind of forcing Sukumis into a scrap there. A couple of 20-year-olds dropping the gloves. Goodell will get some kudos from his teammates as he gets his equipment delivered to him as well.
Trying to break out, but a good keep in here by the Warriors at the point. Now down the right side and a big hit on Cohen Williams. And Sawyer Dingman going to get a call for this one.
Oh,
and
here
now
we go.
Dingman and Dagenstein drop the gloves, and they're up along the wall, and Dingman, Stone Cold Dingman, and now Dagenstein finally drops it. The officials trying to get in between. And oh my goodness, Stone Cold Sawyer Dingman puts him up along the wall and has a party.
As Paul is blocked in front.
The Pats coaching staff weren't happy, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. And now we'll get a fight. Jimmy Egan drops the gloves of Connor Bear. Here we go. At center ice. And Connor Bear starts leveling him.
Talk about taking care of business. Connor Bear with 3 shots on Jimmy Egan.
Drops at center. Matthews trying to settle it down for the Blades. He'll dump it into the left side corner. And Poole's going to get a shot on here. And we're going to drop the gloves right away. The Captains are doing it again. Justice Christensen, Tyler Parr. They lock each other up at the Raider blue line. Parr with the first couple of rights. And now Christensen tries to fire back. Parr gets a couple loose. Now Christensen swinging. And he's got Parr turned around. The Art Hauser center's coming alive. Christensen with a couple lefts now. Right over the top. Parr fires back. Christensen a big right hook. And he's landed a couple straight ones afterwards. They're still chucking knuckles. And they're going to the red line now. Back to their feet. They're still going at it. Parr gets his elbow pad tossed away. They're still throwing. Referees are letting them go. And finally, they come in to separate it. We are only 38 seconds in. Taps on the back from both captains. Kaczkowski. Kaczkowski fires from distance. That's blocked away by Orszalak. The rebound comes to the left wing for Doobie. He'll play it off the left wall. Heisey able to get it out to center. And there's a penalty coming to the Raiders here behind the play as Rudolph is John back and forth with Cooper Williams, and Rudolph wants to get more out of it. They're going to drop the gloves too. Jackson Rudolph gets the first shot away with a right, another right hand. Believe this is Rudolph's first tilt of his WHL career as he's throwing a couple uppercuts now. Williams has him tied up here. They're pushing and shoving back and forth. This one I don't think is going to live up to the captains in the first period here, but Rudolph got a couple shots away. Rudolph is going to go to the box here for something behind the play. I didn't see it.
Kokoris holds on the right point. He'll play it into the corner. Yeko. Adam Yeko turns away from a defender. And now they've got a fight. It's Jackson Feuder and Caden Longley along the boards. And Feuder connecting with Rice over top. Now a big swing by Longley was off the mark. Another uppercut by Feuder, and the linesman will step in. And it's Jackson Feuder and Caden Longley.
Clark holds it in. Doyle intercepts and gets it out to center ice. That opening faceoff
Here
at
we go.
7-12, and here we go. Hubert Clark and Tristan Mitchell-McAlone skate around to each other's blue lines, come back to the middle, center ice circle. We have ourselves our first, as there were 2 fights last night. They come together. McElhone with the right hands. Clark wanted to go. He challenged before the opening face-off. McElhone's helmet comes off, but he hasn't been hit yet. Now Clark tries to get a right free. McElhone gets another right in. McElhone trying to tear the helmet off Clark's head. Still gets a couple of shots in underneath. Linesman letting him go. 19 seconds into the game. McElhone and Clark, 2 rookies and big customers. Right hand by Clark, misses with a right. McElhone with a couple of more rights. Primo and Fry, the linesman, saying, "Are you guys done?" They're still hanging on. I think Clark wants to get a punch in. McElhone gets another one in, then puts him in a front headlock. And now the linesman will get in and separate. He's had to make so far tonight. Rudolph a shot from the line as he keeps it in. He stayed up there off the shoulder of Bud to the end boards. And now McCackerty grabs on to Braden Klimke in behind the net. And we've got everybody, with the exception of Cripps and Rudolph, the 2 Raider defensemen, who are back beyond. McElhone's into it with somebody. Sievertson wants to go with Kaczkowski. They've dropped the mitts. Jack Kaczkowski, and now it's Cripps in front of the net with Ben Botel. Kaczkowski and Sievertson are the initial combatants. Rudolph and Olsen now come together. Klimke reaching around for Maddox McCackerty, who was the initial guy involved. Meanwhile, Cripps side headlock and takedown on Botel in the far corner. Now Klimke over to engage with McCackerty. Referee Blosky trying to stop that. Meanwhile, the linesmen are trying to keep Olsen and Rudolph separated. Olsen got a punch in over the top of the linesman as this one gets going. Olsen still trying to throw.
Puck comes near the line and is forced out. And now the Rockets will put it back deep. And looks like we're going to have a scrap here. It's Nate Corbet for the Rockets. And DeMars for Penticton have dropped the mitts at center. And Corbet is throwing lefts and now trying to get his right hand free. He's got his right hand free. And he throws the Penticton player to the ice. I'm sure they got a little bit of a motivating speech in the dressing room, down 4-0. And here we're going to have another scrap right at the benches for Penticton. It's Burrick and it's Gerwing for Kelowna. They've dropped the mitts. They have not yet to engage, but they're inside the zone, exchanging right hands now as Burrick landed one, and now they're firing both at each other. And they're grappled all together. Burrick gets his right hand. Gerwing trying to answer back. He's got his right hand free. He's accepting some shots and now fires a right hand. And they go to the ice. And the crowd reacts as Gerwing and Burrick Mazden Leslie back into his own zone, takes a hit from Wayman as he turned away. Now there's some more pushing and shoving. Leslie's grabbing Wayman. 3 Rockets want to go with Wayman. And now we're going to have another scrap. It's Wayman, and it looks like it is the Rockets player. He didn't quite pick up the number. It's Alcos firing bombs. No, it's 26. Sorry, not 6. It's Guest. And they're just exchanging right hands. Are you watching on the webcast? I can't describe all that. Hammering away at each other. And now Guest lands a hard right. Now he hammers another hard right. And they're just exchanging blows back and forth. And another right hand. And I'm surprised the linesmen don't jump in sooner, to be honest. That's a lot of rights to take from Wayman.
Ovias. Here comes Armstrong the other way for Spokane. Down on the end wall, tied up by Ellick, and now it's Adam with Ellick continuing with Armstrong, and the fans looking for a goal. Now they're going to drop the gloves. Big hit as the Thunderbirds' Grammer goes down, and now Holberton's going after Gillespie. Holberton, he's a big guy that's used to the penalty box, and Gillespie
just holding on at this point, but they're going to get an instigator out of this, Mike, or at least they need to. I'm not in charge.
Exchange words back and forth. Are they going to go? Here we go. Aiden Foster and Owen Shetler. A game-one tilt here at CN Center. Aiden Foster and Owen Shetler get ready here at center ice. And here we go. Foster a good right on Shetler. Shetler swings and misses. Oh, a big right from Foster. Foster has that right hand clock back. Shetler loses balance. Foster will bring Shetler to the ice. Well, 2:56 into this hockey game.
Far side, Doyle will chop it off the glass. Now we're going to have a fight here. It's going to be Matt Williams going to go up against Gavin Clark. They'll grab on a couple of heavy rights early. A right from Williams misses, a right from Clark connects, and down they go. A quick fight, but one to maybe inject some energy.
Deep as the Silvertips get a forward line change. He'll pursue his own dump in. Vaughn throws a heavy hit in the corner, and he'll be jumped onto. Gloves are dropped. Jackson Vaughn wrapping up Griffin Darby in the corner. Darby taking exception to the hit. Vaughn will come over the top, wrap up Darby. Darby trying to come underneath with a couple uppercuts. They're entangled, not much space. Vaughn will grab him in a headlock, and the officiating crew will step in. The initial hit by Vaughn was going to be penalized. We'll see if Darby picks up anything else. And he'll further harangue Cole Slobodian in the corner. Good hit thrown by Mietin, and this will be penalized in the corner against Reed Brown. And Mietin will grab onto Brown. This is going to be a board going against Everett, and now Mietin's going to drop the gloves. He and Reed Brown are going to go at it. Julius Mietin squaring up for his first playoff fight. Mietin comes over the top, and he'll down Brown in one swing.
To the blue line, Christensen holds it in. Sent down low, Howe after it against Dillard. And Dillard lifted the stick of Howe into the air, almost out of play, and now they're going to drop the gloves! The local boy, Connor Howe, is going to go with Cameron Dillard! Second fight of the season for Howe, and he'll take a couple lefts, and now he fires a couple lefts of his own! Connor Howe switching hands again! He gets a couple rights away! There's an uppercut! Dillard comes back with a hard left, and Howe takes him down!
Right wing drag to the high slot, the puck rolling off his stick as he tried to get to the net, but a penalty. And behind the play, Holberton has dropped the gloves with Burek, the big defenseman for the V's out of California. San Clemente, his hometown, 6'8". Holberton a little shorter. He's not shorter than most players in this league, but Burek's got him by about 3 inches. Oh my goodness! A left overhand by Holberton caught Burek, and he goes down.
Back to 5-on-5 as McLaughlin out of the box. Stretch pass. Nears now. Brown's going to go with a fight in the middle of the ice as he hammers Ueda with the fisticuffs. Look at this. Brown feeding Ueda with the uppercut, and he drops Ueda in the neutral zone. Holy haymakers from Nathan Brown. Swiped away from Nico Sakumis. Gustafsson, puck fluttering on edge like a top, and now a penalty here coming up against the Winterhawks as Wilfley's going to drop the mitts against Breck Liskey. Luke Wilfley sent Mirko Dufour to the ice, and Wilfley and Liskey are going to dance in between the circles. Short jabs being thrown by both players. Wilfley connects on an overreaching right-hander. Liskey tries to go to the uppercut. Wilfley boxing him out. Wilfley tries to go to the right. Both players miss a couple. They'll tie each other up and get separated, standing up. The second brawl of the game we've seen from the Winterhawks, who are trying to show life.
Back up the board. Wormel back with it. And Sparks takes a hit center ice. And now Wormel's going to drop the gloves with Vaughn. Vaughn punching on Wormel.
Ice. Feuder back into his zone for Austin Zemlak. Ahead on the right wing. That gets by Andrew O'Neill. And then Zemlak got knocked down by Tyler Parr, and a penalty coming up to the Blades. Now we've got Feuder wanting to go. He's dropped the mitts.
Linesmen are going to let them.
And he and Tyler Parr are going to come together at center ice. Jackson Feuder and Tyler Parr come together. Feuder trying to throw rights. Parr trying to shuck an elbow pad. Now he's throwing rights. They both trying to throw rights. Now Parr tried to switch to a left. Feuder still throwing rights. Nothing much really connecting yet. Now Parr with a couple of rights. Loses his helmet. Trying to rip Feuder's helmet off. Can't do so. Now Parr with a couple of lefts. Feuder's helmet comes off. Who's going to get the takedown? Because this has been a pretty good tilt here so far. And actually Parr bumps heads with Feuder and says, good job.
Just touch this puck. That will be right now as we're going to see a scrap. Cone and McCann are going to go in the Pat zone. Couple rights from Cone. McCann tries to throw back. Cone with a couple rights that miss. McCann comes over the top with a right, wailing away at the side of the head of Cone as they will grab hold of one another. One more uppercut from McCann as the linesman will step in to separate the two. And
Here's Lewandowski, man, sneaking down the left wall. Here's a shot from Botel. That's patted away by Orszalak, and Villeneuve gets the rebound. Left point, Klimke. Right side, Martin. Sent towards the goal. That's stopped. Botel and Cripps are battling well behind the play, and they're going to drop the gloves. Brock Cripps is in his first WHL fight as Ben Botel is tied up with him. Cripps gets a hard right shot away, and now they're wrestling with each other, trying to get the shots away. Now Cripps is teeing off on him. Couple uppercuts and a couple overhands. Botel goes back with a left, and now they're tied up again, and that's going to do it for this one.
Neutral zone, Haliburton. Haliburton absolutely leveled by Jackson Vaughn, and Haliburton is down and he's hurt. And Corbet is going to drop the gloves, and he's going to drop them with Jackson Vaughn. And Vaughn and Corbet will throw them. Fourth time in their career that they've dropped the gloves, and Vaughn gets the takedown. But Haliburton was crumpled against the boards, and Jackson Vaughn
for the first time in their history, the Silver Tips have climbed to the top